All right, guys, I'm a little excited. I'm excited for the Hasan and the Ethan crash out on Hasan. Which, to be honest with you, I think I'm not a big Hasan fan, but this seems like the weirdest time to do it. I think in the conversation with Asmongold, overall Hasan was more right, even if there are things I disagree with. You can go watch my take if you want. It's on the YouTube channel. So it seems like this is a weird time to burn the bridge. I don't really understand. Like there's a time and a place. I don't really get why you would do that now. But this is Ethan addressing Hasan and his community. It just seems like a weird way to go. Like, why the crash out? I don't know. Maybe we'll see what goes on, but it just feels immature. I think it's time to move on, Ethan. Well, let's go.
Okay, here's my goal with this. I'm going to get through this as quickly and factually as I can. I feel that I need to say this. I need to address this once and for all.
I don't think you do. I truly don't think he does. I don't know, man. I just feel like you should just move on. But maybe that's just me.
And this is it, okay? So let's turn off chat because you know what I mean? Whatever you guys have to say at this moment, I don't know. I don't want it to be toxic. That's it. That's why I'm turning it off. All right. As I said, I'm going to be quick and factual. There's no fluff. I want to get through as fast as I can. This is not something you're interested in. Obviously, I understand. I would suggest you...
The releases of this has nothing to do with Asmongold. Ethan has clearly been preparing to make this for a while. He's basically a manifesto. Oh, is that the case? Oh, okay. Well, I guess if it has nothing to do with this... Okay. I don't know. I don't know, man. You don't have to express all of your feelings. There's people who I feel have wronged me as well, and it's just like, it is what it is, part of life. I feel like maybe it's just time to move on. Like, I don't know, and maybe I'm just being a little non-charitable, but, part of it is part of it because he feels like there's nothing really going on to talk about, so he's like, oh, let's do this. You know what I mean? Because I've been in the space where it's like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. Let me start. Then you start gooning. You start just posting about stupid things. Well, thank you for the $2 from the Unknown Freaks. What FNAF character do you identify with most? Golden Freddy, because he puts kids in his mouth. Yeah. And just to be clear, the bite of 86 is what I'm referring to. Just to be clear, okay, I'm not talking about actual kids. Okay, I'm talking about a man's load. So relax. Okay, you guys are so dirty in your perspective. Okay.
Refer to timestamps or catch our Friday show if you don't want to watch this. Totally understand. Before I begin, I would like to address a couple of points that I know will be brought up. One that I hear a lot: why don't you talk to Hasan about this privately? I did text him a couple of weeks ago after I saw the clip of him saying that he had no problem with Hezbollah. I texted him that I thought it was pretty
isn't that like a terrorist organization?
Disappointing and disturbing.
That's why you don't make the big bucks. You need to start more drama, dude. I make plenty of money.
The way that he was I'm on no sleep, sorry. What's the word? He was hyping up Hezbollah.
2 hours.
And granted, when I texted him that, I said, you don't have to respond to me. I totally understand because it's unsolicited, criticism. I get it. But I was kind of hoping to open the door to a more personal conversation.
There's no, why would you even expect that? Like, you guys burned the bridge because he wouldn't even monitor his own community being legitimately anti-Semitic and hateful towards you. Like, why would you ever think that Hasan is capable of, intelligent and reasonable conversation?
He did not reply, which I took as basically just like, we're on the opposite sides of this issue and talking isn't going to really help, which I get. And I agree. That's probably where we're at, unfortunately. But I did try. And again, not to blame him, because I said, you don't have to respond, just so you know. I felt I needed to tell you this. So, it's not like, that's what happened, okay? And in fact, we haven't spoken in a few months. We've spoken very little since the show ended. Obviously, this is what I don't like. I've been taking these stupid little pot shots at him and Instagram stories and stuff. Something happened over the past few days that really fucking set me off and made me...
okay. I guess it makes sense for him to making these little passive-aggressive remarks every once in a while. It doesn't really seem like the way to go. You might as well just do the crash out. All right, you know what? I support the crash out. Let's do it.
We get kind of just determined to finally just do this once and for all. So obviously things have got more strained between us as time's gone by. And after some recent events, which I'll get into, I find it impossible not to say anything. People don't need to speculate about our relationship, about our opinions about each other. I just want to address it now openly, bluntly. As a person, as a friend, I respect Hasan. I don't think you need to choose between us. It's not like that. In fact, it's not.
If you respect Hasan, but you're constantly taking digs at him, why do you respect him then? Why? It seems like rather... just to be real, it seems like fucking weak to just be like, I respect Hasan a lot. Why? Why do you respect this guy who apparently just is constantly saying things that are just antithetical to your existence?
Personal at all. I am seeing a concerning.
His community has been hijacked, and the hate towards him plus the hate towards his wife. Oh, okay, interesting. I feel you would have a different opinion if you feel family as well. Well, I guess I mean, maybe I'm not realizing how deep it goes and how intense it is.
Rise in anti-Semitism and a normalization of it in a way that I don't think Hasan is anti-Semitic, but I do think that stuff he does contribute to it. And I know that's a big claim. However, I hope that you will watch this through. I believe it's well supported, and I feel that it will be persuasive if you listen to what I'm saying. So please at least give me the due. Give me your ears for a moment to hear me out. And feel free to disagree with me all you want. But yeah, but again, like it's not. I mean, Hasan can do better. He can conduct himself better, in my opinion. You know, it's possible that we could be friends again down the line, or not that we stop being friends, but we could be friendly again, or more on talking
It's clear that you guys are not friends.
terms. I don't know, down the line.
Thank you for the 10 months small gut. The comments were crazy before H3 turned them off. Were they really? That's fucking wild.
But at the moment, he is like the lead. He's kind of like the most prominent voice on this issue. So it's not personal. It's literally just addressing where this is all coming from. Another comment that I read all the time that I want to address up front, and
Thank you for the 10 months small gut from Ricky. Did I say that you're that? Did I tell you? Okay, whatever.
kind of the heart of all the problems that I'm having here is that I hear all the time. In fact, this was the top comment on a thread on our subreddit, is that with all the terrible things happening in Gaza, I can't bring myself to care about anti-Semitism. Which I understand the sentiment, right? There are terrible things happening in Gaza. However, these are the people who are nonstop trying to convince everybody that Zionism is not Judaism, and convince themselves that we don't hate Jews, we just hate Zionists. So when I complain about anti-Semitism, why is it?
Well, I mean, like, listen, if you're... Here's my thing. I personally lean more in the first sympathy in Israel overall. I believe in their right to exist. You know, I do. And so, you know, I'd like to see a two-state solution. Obviously, maybe Palestine can get some Western help, become more robust, and hopefully change some of their values to be more accepting of women, children, LGBTQ people. Hopefully. Right. But if you're leaning, maybe you're a Muslim person or leaning more on the side of Palestine, you might have more empathy for Palestine and struggle to have empathy for Jewish people. I kind of get it as well. For sure. I mean, I get it. You shouldn't be calling for death of anybody. But just to be clear, Zionism just means that you believe, like, you're okay with Israel existing. It doesn't mean that you think everything that Israel's doing is justified. Some of it is, some of it's not. I mean, like, it's hard to say. There's so much going on. You know, I don't think anybody's happy with the constant bombing campaigns of Palestine. I also don't think people are happy with Hamas hiding their military structure underneath civilians. It's pretty fucked up in both directions. You know?
That it always goes back to Israel. It seems that they're the ones that are confused about Zionism and Judaism. Because again, if I'm complaining about anti-Semitism, what does that have to do with Gaza? Or
oh, you want a three-state solution? I didn't even think about that, dude. I think you might have actually solved the problem.
what does that have to do with Gaza? You know what I mean? Apparently, according to them, nothing, if they're not related. This is...
I don't know, man. I struggle because people talk about like ethno-states and everything. It's hard because 20% of Israel is Palestinian people living there, being able to vote, being able to participate in government, being able to participate in jobs. It's hard to say like, oh, it's an ethno-state when you have 20% of like Israel's population is Palestinian. It's not like, I don't know. It seems like that side is trying a little harder, in my opinion. I don't know.
a confusion that is at the root of the problem I'm having of contributing.
And I think it's uncharitable to say like no, like there's no hate. I've seen plenty of people say I fucking hate Jews over the Palestinian Israel conflict. Just to be clear,
And rising anti-Semitism that I'm seeing is that...
I mean, I know you don't have to be Muslims against genocide. I mean, like, listen, to me, it's a war. I mean, it's a war. My understanding is that it's pretty typical in the Middle Eastern area. Unfortunately, it's pretty fucked up. But like, this is not something that's atypical in this area. I'm not saying it's okay or justifiable. I'm just saying it seems to be a war more than anything else. And it's like, it sucks and it's terrible. But you know, thank you for $5 from Ryan Platts. I agree with Ethan mostly, but he's a tad bit too reactive to these things. I haven't seen Hasan take digs at Ethan like Ethan does. Yeah, he doesn't. He should just ban these people from his platform and just kind of move on, you know?
This usage of the word Zionism, which is basically become a catch-all. It doesn't mean much, and it has a whole spectrum of meaning. As I'll show, it can mean, like, if you look at a leftist Israeli, you ask them what Zionism is, they'll tell you, a lot of people tell you it's Western expansion, like settler expansionism, right? And they say, oh, I'm anti-Zionist.
Oh, yeah, like, I think the West Bank especially, like, that West Bank has to be given back to the Palestinian people, shit like that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm against that. Where the idea of, like, you know, taking Israel off the map, they'd be like, that's insane. Like, obviously, no. So, are they a Zionist? Or is it a Houthi pirate that Hasan's been hyping up? And a Houthi flag that says "Curse upon the Jews" and "Death to Israel." Is that Zionism? What does it mean? What does it mean? People call me a Zionist all the time on the internet. To what extent does it? The extent of my Zionism is this: do I think Israel should be wiped off the map? No. That's the extent, and that's all it takes to hit me with that catch-all. You know what I mean? I find it's turned into a slur. I'm going to get into all that, and I hope you guys will listen. I'm grateful to everybody who's a fan of both of us.
It's probably not the best time to go for this point. I don't know if anybody's going to be super receptive.
I hope you will not take this personally. It's completely reasonable to be a fan of both of us, and I'm grateful that you're able to put aside whatever perceived differences we've had and able to enjoy both of us. If you decide you can't watch, understand, love you. Know the processing things that are happening.
The Ethan crash
is
out.
Extraordinarily difficult. I will not judge anybody for walking away. Perhaps at this point in time, it's better for both of us if you do decide to do that. However, that being said, I do hope you listen to my presentation before deciding to depart. But once again, this is something in my heart that I feel I must communicate, and so that is what I'm doing. And I also want to say to everyone who's expressed their support to me over the past 2 days, I am extremely grateful. Thank you. There was a point when I felt like literally nobody supported me, and it was just my own community was like, I felt gaslighting me and just completely shitting on my beliefs. However, there was a very hopeful push towards some more healthy discourse that I felt encouraged by, and I want to thank the people that who did that. And so thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I want to say to Hasan that I appreciate all the times you've defended me from your community. I know I'm not one to hold someone responsible for what their fans do, as you probably know that our audience does crazy shit. However, I do think that while you tell everybody to
I mean, again, he doesn't defend him he doesn't defend Ethan from his community ever. Like I remember watching the whole thing where he was like overly justifying. He's like, well, if you're gonna say things like the Jews have like the right to exist, basically, then you got to expect people to call you a genocide supporter. It's like, what are you talking about? That's fucking wild work, brother.
Leave me alone or whatever it is you say.
I don't know. I've seen like the insane anti-Semitism inside of Hasan's community, and just like battering against Ethan over and over again. So like, I guess I could understand why he'd be so upset, and like his friend's not like trying to defend him in any capacity. So it's like, okay,
your rhetoric, your tone.
That's why I don't understand why he's still friends with this guy. It's fucking bizarre to me.
The way you carry yourself on this topic is the reason why I'm being harassed by so many people online, a large part of your audience. So let's start from the beginning. Here's an album of the stories.
All right.
Just to catch you guys up to date. This started with this tweet I saw. By the way, I pulled this last night just to see where it was at. When I posted it, it had like 30,000 likes. It says 90,000 likes, 2 million views.
Oh, I think this guy got banned for this thing. It says, I hope they take their own life squad, and it's Asmongold, Ethan, Destiny, and Pilmar. What an interesting couple. Or quintet? Quadrant? I don't know.
I never heard of this guy, no, it's from, first of all, Comrade Casey. Yeah, that Comrade Casey, the guy who is a fucking absolute creepy weirdo who was posting Hamas.
I'll take a look at that account later, Toast. Okay, don't worry.
Shit via
I didn't get a chance to look at it. Just remind me again later.
It was so weird. This dude. Anyway, you guys remember that whole thing? He typed in and said, "Please stop talking about me," and continue to talk about me. Very good. And again, I'd also like to wonder what the fuck is it exactly I've said or done to like belong in this image. I know what you're saying.
What's wrong with this image? Well, I mean, I guess I get the Asmongold one because that was pretty. Asmongold definitely. That was rough, man. That was a rough one.
Right. What have I done?
I mean, let's say that take will obviously be included as a separate video. So if you want to take a look at that, you can. But that was fucking brutal.
I continually ask myself, why am I being held up with these group of people?
Why? What's wrong with Destiny? It's a little immature, but.
And anyway, Comrade Casey said, "I'm assembling a team." This guy Hasan Kader said, "I hope they commit suicide squad." And which
I think that it could help Ethan deleting Twitter. It's a terrible platform with no benefit to it. So that's just my advice, personally.
I'm like, wow, okay, so 90,000 likes telling me to kill myself for a belief. And again, this is part of the problem. Like, what have I done? Like, why am I in these memes getting 2 million views of me telling me to kill myself? Because apparently I'm like
because it's Twitter, Ethan. Because Twitter does not like Jewish people. Twitter doesn't like Muslims, and Twitter doesn't like Jewish people. The only reason that there's so much right-wing hate for Jews is because they're anti-Semitic. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We don't like Palestinian people, but... we don't like Jews more, so that's it, Ethan. Like, get off the platform. Honestly, like, it's time to acknowledge that Twitter is a cesspool, idiot, garbage, shit, fuck mess of a platform that's not good for anybody. It's a terrible platform. Leave Twitter. It's not good. It's not intelligent. It's not productive. It's not fun. It's not interesting. It's not a good platform. It's time to leave, bud. It's time to be on your merry way. So that's pretty much it.
Islam or I hate Gaza or whatever. I mean, Asmongold was just blasted for saying horrible shit about, like, I don't remember the verbatim, but he said something like Muslim culture or Arab culture is inferior, which is insane, right? It's fucked up. It's insane. When have I ever said anything like that? You know what I mean? Never.
I'm gonna take
Okay?
some damage here, boy.
Anyway, but since when is telling people to kill themselves like normal? And again, part of the irony of this whole thing is that on the left, they're basically willing to undermine everything they believe in.
Breath incoming.
I guess at the behest of going after Zionists, because they see Zionists as subhuman, they see them as Nazis. They've given each other permission and consent and the green light to essentially target whoever they perceive as Zionists with whatever abuse they deem necessary, because they're Nazis and they're killing children and innocent people in Gaza. That is my problem. Anyway, I responded to this tweet telling me to kill myself with 90,000 likes. I said, deranged shit telling me to kill myself with 36,000 likes at the time.
Why are you responding to it? Like, I really don't understand. I'm trying to be rude. I feel like Ethan is a little too, like, just block the people and move on. I think he's being a little too sensitive with some of this stuff. Again, get off Twitter. Twitter is a problem. It is a toxic cesspool.
36. What exactly as I said or did? Nobody has ever been able to tell me.
Nice. They put it right.
Moving on to the next one. It made me think of this tweet from our wonderful Houthi pirate, the cute Houthi pirate that Hasan interviewed. And I remembered this tweet he put out.
Our wonderful, the Houthi pirate.
Just a cute tweet from our favorite Houthi. Same people telling me to kill myself love this guy. And that's true. They do. They love him. Hasan interviewed him. He hypes him up even as recent as like this week. Okay. This is a tweet he put out. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. And it features somebody whose arms is tied behind their back and they've been impaled by a spike through their asshole and up and through their mouth. Now, I would like to know what people go, Hasan talked to him and he said he's not a Houthi.
But dude, he's like Luffy from One Piece. What are you talking about?
And he says he doesn't hate Jews. Why is it you understand how this works with every other minority group? Like, do you really think that if I asked this guy, like, tell me what do you think a Zionist is, that he would have some nuanced answer about the difference? I mean, as you'll see, this kid is a rampant anti-Semite and a violent Houthi terrorist, which I will prove to you guys, in my opinion, beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I'll prove this to you guys, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt. The interesting string of words.
However, so like this kind of rhetoric, frankly, disgusts and scares me. People call me.
I'm not a Free Palestine supporter. I'm like a charge a little more for it so the Jews don't want it supporter. You know what I'm saying? I can make that joke because I'm Jewish. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Me a Zionist. People call my wife a Zionist. It's my family. It's my children's.
I'm a supporter of trying to get Palestine on Jerkmate because I have a theory that people will be more peaceful with each other if they find them sexy and they would fuck them. Okay, so if we could just get more people to want to fuck Palestinian people in Israel, and then in the opposite as well, I think that we could make this work out really well. I think that we can get it going pretty well. People need to want to do sex with the other group, and I think it'll go really well. That's just my theory. So
it's life, okay? And this is a guy someone who I consider a friend, is talking about how cute and funny and awesome he is. Well, the immediate reaction to this was our subreddit getting mobbed by Hasan fans, probably snarkers, overwhelming the comments, overwhelming it. Now, here's what they say. Top comment. This dude isn't a Houthi. He literally said it in an interview with Hasan. Like, how fucking obtuse are you, seriously? Like, David Duke says he's not a Klan member and he doesn't actually hate black people. It's like, okay, so I guess he doesn't. Like, are you fucking dumb? Okay, I'm getting too emotional. I'll calm it down. But yeah, obviously,
piss off, yeah.
He isn't a Houthi. He literally said it to Hasan. Okay, great. Also, this is the part that they go after. This tweet is fake. Just like Ethan, you morons have been duped. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I saw this tweet. I remember it. This is a real tweet. What's going on here? Then people uncritically start accepting it. Wait, for real? Jesus Christ, the misinfo is nuts. Then they respond, yes, and sycophants that are willing to believe Muslim Arabs are inherently evil will fall for
Isn't it sycophants?
this, like Ethan. Now,
It is interesting when people will they'll say this is just not real when somebody does something fucked up because they can't come to terms with it existing. You know what I mean? Like it can't be real to them, because it's so fucked up. But it's like, yeah, it's real. Oh, dude, this is a bad spot.
excuse me. I said this kid's a piece of shit and all you heard was Arabs are evil. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, why is that what you heard? Continuing, here's a Hasan. This guy's a Hasanabi head flare. Honestly, it's really sad watching Ethan slip into this rabbit hole and showing his bias. Brings back memory of that Forsaken Leftovers episode when he wouldn't even engage with Palestinian plight and kept saying, what about Israel? I know what he's talking about exactly, but essentially, they've all, and this is just an excerpt, but the whole chat was like, this is misinfo. Ethan's like lying, and this kid is innocent. He would never tweet this. He would never ever tweet this. Moving on to the next one, I did a tiny bit of research and I found the archive, thankfully. I would have lost my mind if I didn't, because I swear I saw it. Here's the tweet. It happened. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. Here it is from this kid, July 23rd, 2024. By the way, he's banned on all social medias, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's a fucking terrorist and he posts shit like this. Okay? Does that surprise anybody? I said, so now that we've proven it's real, I suppose we'll see a lot of apologies and corrections. Of course, we did not see that. But kind of what continues to shock me is, people on the left are so hypercritical of MAGA people being like divorced from reality, not listening to reason, and not acknowledging facts, and kind of just thinking, and whatever they think is real, they speak, and it becomes real. That's literally what just happened in that chat. I posted something that was true, and because it went against their dogma, they swarmed our subreddit to accuse me of lying with zero evidence, and people uncritically believed them. That to me is disturbing, and that to me is dangerous. Here's a post that again doesn't have a lot of engagement,
Sure.
but I was struck by the fact that it had minus like, excuse me. As I said, I'm getting over something nasty. This person said, so all the hate speech and threats of violence are fine because there's other horrendous violence. It's okay for everyone to post violent hate speech because violence exists. Please explain. Things can be bad without there being a comparison. It's not a zero-sum game. I don't want atrocities, cruelty, and violence, and I don't want hate speech all over social media. Being downvoted because I guess you guys are okay with seeing people threaten to kill, spear people alive. All hate stuff is bad is apparently a controversial opinion. This world's so fucked. And this person was getting downvoted. And it's like, dude, this is in my own community. The consensus I should just take the anti-Semitism and keep moving. And how dare I even complain or acknowledge it?
Why don't you just ban them for your community, bro? I don't know.
Is so absurd. I invite you to imagine even saying that to another minority group. And then being applauded and upvoted and cheered on for it. You know where you see that? Fucking probably 4chan. Or
yeah, that is what Twitter is, 4chan. Twitter is just 4chan, brother. But like that's what you understand. It's just 4chan at this point. You don't realize that? That's all it is, man. It's Elon Musk has done a great job of ruining the platform. It's a social fucking cesspool. It's because free speech is worth people just spamming like racial slurs on your platform all day. It's why people it's why I don't have content on there. Like why I don't post short form content on there. Like why would I? It's an insane asylum.
Or MAGA threads. Probably where you see white supremacists talking about other races and stuff where they're just
yes,
shut
that's
up and
all it's
take it.
full of.
And once again, what does anti-Semitism have to do with Zionism? If I'm talking about anti-Semitism, and your response is, I just don't care because of all this stuff happening in Gaza, how is it related? You're the one conflating Zionism.
I mean, I think it's fine if people don't care because of that's happening in Gaza. I mean, if you don't care because of what's happening there, like I think that's fine. I just don't think you should be actively hateful. But why would you pull this? Are you fucking stupid? But if you like, is a difference between being like, oh, I've struggled to care because of like what's going on in Gaza. I personally think that's fine. Like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel, and I get it. Like, that's different from that's different from like actively calling for hatred on somebody. But if you feel that way, like I personally am not offended by that. Like, okay, like you do you, brother. Like if that's how you feel, okay, like that's fine.
And Judaism, and you do it all the time. Next. Here's another one, Hasan head. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionism. He is. I mean, again, there's a famous clip of him calling the West Bank a Palestinian terror city. I'm not sure what that one is. But, again, I'm willing to address anything that comes up. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist. So they're saying, like, why should he care about... Hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this in order. So they're saying, in response to the spike, this person being impaled by a spike to death, and him saying, I want to kill all Zionists like this. They say, why should Ethan care? He's not a Zionist. In fact, this is proof he's a Zionist because he doesn't like this. I thought Ethan said he wasn't a Zionist, right? Fuck Zionists. And again, reminder, this is a picture of someone being impaled from their asshole to their mouth. And people are saying, fuck Zionists. For real, fuck Zionists. These people are essentially co-signing these threats of violence while calling me a Zionist because I apparently care about people being spiked up the asshole. FBI crime stats. This came out, I think, just last month. Jews make up 2% of the population and 15% of hate crimes in America. Must be nice for people unaffected by anti-Semitism to tell Jews it doesn't matter. It must be nice to have that, to come from that place of moral superiority when you're completely unaffected. It's quite stark. I mean, African-American hate crimes are still number one, but for the proportion of Jews making up like 2% of the population of America, the fact that they're number two is pretty stark. So again, you'll hear, this kind of relates to a statement Hasan says. Maybe I'll pull it up now, okay? One sec. Hasan says 16 in the doc. Here it is. One sec, you guys. 16 in the doc. This relates to this.
I think what's crazy about this
he's
is
talking
that, like,
about, I'll say at this point, I don't even remember what me and Frogan were arguing about, but he's basically defending Frogan.
I can't believe Ethan, this big content creator, is like really giving Frogan the time of day. I don't know, man. I just like, she's just so fucking worthless. Who gives a shit about her? I guess people on Twitter.
Do you remember what happened?
Ethan isn't on Twitter. Bro, what are you talking about? He's referencing Twitter posts. What do you mean he's not on Twitter? He's referencing Twitter posts the entire time.
Dan, stand there. What happened with Frogan? I literally don't even remember the details of it. You don't want to say. That's fine.
You unfollowed her.
When you only have enough mental bandwidth to hear about a single issue, very reasonable. You're just being stupid. Like that's how emotions and empathy works.
I say what?
You unfollowed her, and then she talked about it in Discord.
Is that what he's talking about? Oh, this is from the first one? Yeah. Okay, so then that's what it's about. When I unfollowed her, and then she said I hate Arabs.
It's not about mental bandwidth. It's about being like a human being. Like stop pretending that you're intelligent. Honestly, like seriously, like you're a kid if you don't understand like having a side that you're more empathetic to. It's okay to be like, hey, like I struggle to care about this topic because my people are impacted in some capacity, or a group of people are impacted. Like that's okay to do. It's just not okay to call for the death of people or justify killings of people. That's really what it boils down to. It's not about mental bandwidth. It's about like just how the way people work and process. All right. If I imagine you don't really care too much about any of the conflicts in general, if you're like, oh, well, if you're gonna have a perspective like that, honestly.
Stuff in Hasan's Discord, and instead of and this is a mod on his channel. Instead of having a word with her about what's going on, he actually chastised me for what? Let's see.
Ethan is very frustrated and very emotional in this moment.
Ooh, he gave him the emotional bomb.
Recognize that like perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America could also be
Well, Frogan's a loser, and I don't think Frogan cares about any of these things, just to be absolutely clear.
very emotional in this exact same moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so... And the reality of the matter is, anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry. So,
just to be clear, I don't know how true that is. I mean, like, you can get punished if you make some kind of a joke or a comment. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, like, I feel like both sides are justifying anti-Semitism, like in general. Like the right wing hate Jews, the left wing seems to hate Jews right now. It's pretty fucking crazy, man. I don't think it's as acceptable. I don't know. I'm not buying into that.
So being the bigger person in the situation, regardless of your feelings.
So anyway, and God forbid you actually read the chat. But what I'm hearing, frankly, is that anti-Semitism is not really an issue, and so you shouldn't. Your complaints are
That is what he's saying. Yes.
less equal than Frogan's complaints because Islamophobia is more serious than anti-Semitism. Despite, by the way, the fact that, as I pointed out, in reality, or not the opposite, because there is Islamophobia, but like this claim that anti-Semitism doesn't exist because everybody knows it wrong, as I perceiving it, is absolutely false. I've never seen more open anti-Semitism in my life, my whole life. The way that it's being normalized by the left and the right, and it's being kind of,
Yeah, it's true.
in a case like this, he's normalizing it. He's greenlighting it. Again, FBI stats. Jews are number 2. 2% of the population, 15% of all hate crimes. Okay? This is all I'm here. This is what I hear.
Crazy about
This to me
this
is
is that, like,
disgusting. Frankly, it's disgusting. It's a disgusting thing to say in the face of rising anti-Semitism, which once again, apparently has nothing to do with Zionism.
Ethan is...
So why is it, that like when Stop Asian Hate, that movement happened, when, these terrible hate crimes were happening to Asian people during COVID, of like random acts of violence in New York City.
I mean, the one that we stopped because we realized it was, unfortunately, statistically, it was... I love the Stop Asian Hate movement because, like, unfortunately, we very quickly found out that there's a disproportionate amount of violence from black people to Asian people. It has nothing to do with black people inherently, right? But that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, like, we stopped caring about that movement very quickly. It's like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, okay, that seems like, it's a little bit bizarre.
And elsewhere, the people like Hasan, excuse me, and left rallied behind them. Nobody said, well, there's a chance China let it out of a lab, so, maybe the problem is that you need to get a hold of China. Maybe you wouldn't be getting punched in the face if China wasn't locking down its country.
Thank you for the $10 from Ryan Platts. I feel like Ethan can't help himself but to make comments and videos about these things when it doesn't really help anything. Perks of being in the drama sphere and always having the comment. Well, that's what I think. I think more than anything else, it has to do with like having a drama perspective on this topic that he probably... I don't know, man. Maybe it's me personally, and maybe he's a bigger creator. He has more eyes on him, more people yelling at him. So it's easy to be like, "Oh, you shouldn't do this or you should do that." But it just feels unproductive. This whole thing doesn't seem like he's already said all these things like 100 times. I don't think that anybody's going to change their mind and communicate differently. I think it's time for. I mean, I would just stay out of the political sphere. I understand being upset about whatever's happening, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it. Just block the bad guys, block people who are being rude, and just move on and just like stop giving it attention. Because the more attention he gives it, the more people are going to respond and talk to him about it.
And whatever. That's what I hear from people like Hasan.
Can I just say real quick, there's a few things I want to say, but I want you to finish. I know you have a lot to get through, so I'd rather say it at the end, but there are a couple things
okay.
I'd like to in response.
Okay.
And very emotional in this moment, but doesn't recognize that like perhaps a Lebanese woman who's a hijabi in the United States of America could also be very emotional in this exact same moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's so... And
once again, comparing actions, I quietly unfollowed her to avoid any problems. She was posting what I perceived as sympathetic posts, encouraging
Yeah, and then she started crying, and then like, okay, you seriously, what the fuck is this?
And glorifying Hamas violence against Israelis. Do you want to see it? I unfollowed her. She started making a huge scene, and including going into Hasan's community as a moderator and saying, I hate Arabs. The actions are not equal, not even close.
The reality of the matter is anti-Semitism is an unacceptable form of bigotry, whereas Islamophobia is a very acceptable form of bigotry. So
again, her problem with Islamophobia is worth listening to. It's very real, and we have to listen to her. And frankly, she can't really do anything wrong. It seems like no matter what, because she's emotional, or she's a woman who's wearing a hijabi. He said, I don't know how to say it. Hijabi.
Yeah.
And so therefore, what she gets a pass on everything, and I never get to complain about anti-Semitism, even though Jews.
Bro, like, I don't understand. You're better than her. Why do you even care? Like, all jokes aside, like, you're both content creators. She's very clearly inept. She's useless and worthless. Who cares?
On a whole, according to FBI stats, there's more hate crimes against Jews than there are at this moment than Arabs or Muslims, according to FBI stats. Now, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying what he's saying here is factually wrong. It's just an outright lie to make it seem like Jews are complaining about something that doesn't exist, even though they are. And it's a gaslighting campaign.
I understand he might be talking about the Jewish community as a whole, and I'm sure that he feels frustrated and sympathetic to Jews and all that. But I mean, at what point do you get where it's like not even worth the time to like constantly involve yourself into like this extraordinarily toxic conversation? I just don't. When do you go like, maybe we should just like, honestly, like, when does it become like not worth it anymore to talk about it over and over and over again? It doesn't really seem like it makes sense.
That continues to go on. That's my take on that part. Going back, I'm skipping around a little bit trying to make sense, but we're getting there. If you guys want to look, the whole FBI census was posted recently, the new one, and it's interesting. I mean, check it out if you're interested.
No, thank you.
But yeah, FBI crime stats on USA, telling people that anti-Semitism doesn't matter must be awesome and nice when literally you don't care. Do you think it's normal? So now the question goes to like, so first they said the tweet was fake about the pike, the killing Zionists with a pike. Okay, that's proven real. But then they say, well, he's not a Houthi pirate. He's just like a cool, awesome Yemenis kid.
Yeah, he's just One Piece. He's just
kind of just like
One Piece.
Kid Mad City or whatever. Kendrick reference. Not now.
Okay. Okay.
Do you think it's not? So I'd like to explore that accusation that he is not a Houthi. Okay, let's look at some of the evidence. Here he is with the AK and combat fatigues. Now, in poverty-stricken Yemen, do you think it's possible to get Yemeni? Thank you, Yemeni, not Yemenis. Do you think it's possible? Or do you think it's likely to get an AK or an automatic assault rifle in Yemen, poverty-stricken, if you're not affiliated with the Houthis? I mean, Houthis, guns are expensive as fuck, and it's kind of surprising, dude.
We need to give more guns to these people, guys. Okay, we need to get them over there. We need to do like a Toys for Tots, but you know what I mean. But for people in other countries, so that they can have the same amazing American freedoms that we do of having some badass firearms and shit. You know what I'm saying, dude? How badass?
Just continue to do. There's so much evidence this dude is Jew-hating terrorist. Just say you support the Houthis. Stand on your shit. Again, I respect that. Just say you support the Houthis, which his son does, and we'll get to that. But so here he is with a rifle, and again, okay, maybe he found that. I don't know how you get a high-powered rifle in Yemen without being affiliated with the Houthis, living in Houthi territory, but maybe he found it. I don't know. Here he is on top of a boat. Ship, we bombed a ship. This is him on a boat in the sea that was commandeered by Houthis. Here he is. This is a translation that it wouldn't translate for me in the pictures, but feel free to do it. It says, ready to sacrifice, longing for martyrdom, on top of a pirated vessel. Maybe he's talking about... maybe he's talking about something else. I don't know. Longing for martyrdom, ready for sacrifice. Who knows? Maybe he's talking about something else. You know, it's possible, right? Here he is singing a little ditty on TikTok that goes, do you threaten us with what we are waiting for, son of a Jew? Nice little ditty there. Once again, clearly making a healthy distinction between Jews and Israelis. But just because he told his son through a translator once that he doesn't hate Jews, just Zionists, we're going to give him a pass. He's a good kid. And actually, we should prop him up. He's awesome. He's hot, by the way. Cute kid.
Yeah, there was that Tim Houthi Chalamet, right?
So that's good. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
That's fucked up. And now I'm giving myself a note to look at number 12. One moment.
I'm going to die here. They don't have...
Here he is. Now here, this is from a story. This is from the interview Hasan did with him. At the time, I have to admit, this interview blew my mind. I thought that this would be a bridge too far and that Twitch would step in and do something. He's interviewing a terrorist. And it's not that he's interviewing a terrorist, because I've seen Hasan try to deflect it, saying, oh, CNN reached me, BBC reached me, they want to talk to him, therefore it's real journalism. Hasan did not ask him one critical question. In fact, the opposite. It was a complete puff piece where he sucked him off, elevated him, was uncritical. And even in the moments of absolutely insane statements like this, he essentially covers for him and acts like ignorant.
Chinese people, but one of the captain was Chinese, and he did qat with them, and he danced to music with them, and he was vibing, so he likes him. Yeah.
So I mean, what?
Yes, he does admit to being a terrorist who's hanging out with hostages. That's literally just what happened. And Hasan knows it. That's why he's laughing a lot and trying to deflect.
So then why do you respect this person? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how Ethan is like, yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to pull that. I don't understand how Ethan is constantly going on and on about how, like, Hasan knows exactly what he's doing. He's interviewing terrorists. He's doing this. He's doing that. And then he's like, yeah, but we're good friends still. Why are you friends then? Why are you friends with this guy? Why is this somebody that you want, like, who you keep insisting is your friend? The guy who's apparently running defense for fucking, like, having terrorists on his fucking thing. Why do you keep saying that this is a friend of yours? I don't understand. Like, how do you, like,
Looking back.
if you're gonna sit here and you're gonna constantly use your platform, your drama platform, to talk about politics, which is fine. I'm not sitting here saying I'm fucking any better, okay? Why are you friends with somebody? Like, you're going to keep doing it. Okay, so his whole thing is, like, he's going to keep talking about it, apparently, even though he's constantly getting criticism, I guess, for some kind of advocacy for Jewish people. Okay, cool. So then why are you friends with the guy who's constantly justifying, like, these perspectives over and over and over again? Why are you, like, I don't understand, like, why wouldn't you cut that tie? It makes absolutely no fucking sense. How can you say this guy's your friend? I don't get it. I don't understand it. You don't have to have a crash out and be like, oh, fuck this guy, blah, blah. But this guy's your friend. Like, how is this guy still your friend?
So crazy.
Yes, it is.
They're just
Like, just stop talking to him. I don't understand.
chilling with the captains. Like, I don't understand.
You don't understand? Do you think anyone would just get access to hang out with, like, these hostages? Why would he be hanging out with hostages? I don't know. But Hasan does a good way of deflecting it and being like, oh, no, this is just funny, silly stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Awesome. Moving on to the next part. Here's more terror core tweets, I like to call them, from our friend Cute Luffy IRL. There's a couple more for you guys to enjoy. This one is whatever. This one is the ships we bombed and sank. Okay, not him because he's not a Houthi, but apparently they bombed and sank stuff. To every Zionist, I will put this into your stomach. It's him once again with a assault rifle, looks like an AK-47. So that's the second death threat he's made against Zionists, and of course, as we know that he loves in the song "Son of a Jew, we will kill you." There's a healthy distinction here between Zionists and Jews, and therefore, why should I care at all that Hasan is propping up a dude who's threatening to kill Zionists, who clearly has no healthy distinction between the two? And he continues to blur the lines between people who say Zionists and people who mean, like, normal ass people who aren't fucking, like, genocide committers, and opening the door to rampant, blatant, open anti-Semitism of the guys using the slur Zionism, which has no fucking meaning, no definition, because it's...
I really just don't get it. Like, you're telling us that you have a friend who's running defense for terrorists that want your people dead. How is that your friend? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, dude. I don't know. This is why I feel like Ethan's weak sometimes. Like, this is fucking pathetic stuff, man.
It's so broad, it's so nebulous, it means nothing. And it can be employed a 1,000 different ways, thousands of people. And people use it just as a matter of fact. Like, everybody knows what it means. People started calling Bernie Sanders and AOC Zionists. I forget why, but they did something that everyone perceived as being pro-Israel or something, and now they're Zionists. And you know, it's like, well, I know AOC's not a Zionist. You know what I mean? But according to him, we need to kill her. We need to put her on a spike. We need to put AOC on a spike, kill her, shoot her with a gun. That's what Hasan thinks is not a problem.
It's just like a little silly fun.
So
dude.
I don't know. Is he affiliated with the Houthis? I mean, listen. At this point, I believe that it's impossible to deny. I do. I think it's impossible to deny that this kid is affiliated, deeply involved with the Houthis. He's on ships. He's blowing up ships. He's hanging out with hostages. He's walking around with guns, combat fatigues. There's enough evidence, all right, to at least be like, hey, you know what? Let's not fucking spike Zionists, okay? But no, his fans, here's what they do. They first call me a liar that the tweet's not real. Then, once the tweet's real, they say he's not a Houthi. So, also you're lying.
Defensive.
There's no point to which reality catches up with these people. There's no point in which me presenting facts, disputable facts, will change their mind that whatever they're obsessed with is real, and that me, a Zionist, is lying. That's the beginning, and that's the end. Maybe, and then I see people, the next part of the argument is this. So, you're lying, it's not a real tweet. Okay, it's a real tweet. Well, he's not a Houthi. You're lying about that. Okay, fine. He might be affiliated with Houthis, but Houthis are actually awesome. I've seen Hasan say that a lot, and I'll show it to you as I move on. Houthis are awesome. I've even heard people at the likes of Norm Finkelstein saying that they should be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, the Houthis. And Hasan very much is a fan of the Houthis, which I'll show. Let's start with the Houthi flag.
I'm telling you, this is a crash out, dude. I was telling you. It's a crash out, bro. It needs to be.
Here is their official flag of the Houthi terrorist organization. It says, Allah Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, curse the Jews, victory Islam. This is their flag. This is Their pirate flag. What do you call it? There's a name for that. It's like a catchy name for it. I think someone's.
I think it's called the One Piece.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a pirate flag. Death. Now again, a Jolly Roger. Thank you guys.
It's very interesting that Ethan right now is just trying to explain to people that this is a terrorist. It's funny.
Now again, death to Israel, curse the Jews. Not a great distinction between Zionism and Jews, and this is basically their flag. So,
Watch your step.
I mean, this is equal to people who are trying to tell me like Hamas revised their charter in 2016, so therefore they no longer want to kill Jews. It's like, give me a fucking break. You would never run this kind of defense for the obvious dog whistling that you see by terrorist organizations. If it was about any other minority group.
It's probably true.
You know, they changed their. Actually, they didn't change it. They added a new chapter. They didn't even change the original charter. It still stands as it is, unedited. But they added like a new chapter that's like, actually, we don't hate Jews. We just hate Israel. In 2016, when they realized how important the information warfare was happening online, on TikTok, on Twitter, and of course they were right. We can all see that they've been very successful in that, in spreading that. It's gone all the way up to Hasan, which is now accepted form of.
Well, Hasan hates anything Western, so like, of course, it's going to work for Hasan. Fuck! I just fucked up so bad. That's it. I'm gonna die.
Discourse that Hamas somehow doesn't hate Jews because they up. Anyway, besides the point, this is the Houthi flag. Thank you. Up next.
Watch your step.
Recently, the Houthis were in the news for sentencing 13 to public execution
Find
on
shelter.
homosexuality charges. There's a common theme here. In Houthi-controlled Yemen, here they are doing a Heil Hitler. Is there
Damn, is that really what they're doing?
any other explanation for this other than just doing Heil Hitler? Taking an oath of allegiance to the Houthis. I mean, it certainly looks like a Heil Hitler, but okay. Maybe they're just fucking, maybe it's just a coincidence that the guy with in their flag right here that says curse upon the Jews is doing a Heil Hitler. But at any rate, they're executing gay people publicly. That's not cool.
This is
They
actually
are
fucking crazy.
taking boats indiscriminately. Another talk about you hear about these terrorists
Defensive.
is that they're only targeting Israeli-controlled ships affiliated with Israel. In fact, Houthis are taking boats indiscriminately. They are terrorizing the entire sea there. And once again, a huge number of these ships have nothing to do with Israel. Here's an excerpt from this BBC article. The Houthis initially said they were attacking ships connected with Israel or headed to or from there. However, many of the vessels have no connection with Israel. Major shipping companies have stopped using the Red Sea, through which almost 50% of global seaborne trade usually passes, and are using a much longer route around southern Africa instead. So, once again, people run defense for the Houthis, Hasan included, saying, as I'll show you later, that they only target Israel ships. It's not true. Not only that, they board these ships, they take hostages, and then, guess what? They disappear. We don't even know where the fuck they are. They kidnap people. None of them Israeli, by the way. And apparently
Yeah, I think Ethan's sick and he's not sleep. He hasn't slept very much, and that's why he's a sniffly little guy.
they hang out and have parties with this cute youth Houthi kid. But other than that,
You think they have Diddy parties, dude?
we don't know where they are. We don't know what they want. We don't know if they're alive.
Hold on. All right, let's continue.
And it's just a fun game we like to play with the good guys over at the Houthis. Here's a CNN article about them imprisoning shipping crew hostages indefinitely. Let's take a look here, just for your enjoyment. Hope is fading for imminent return of the international crew of the cargo ship hijacked by Houthis in November. The senior Filipino diplomat saying he's not expected to release date until the war in Gaza is over. Houthi-owned helicopter hijacked the Galaxy cargo ship November 19 in the Red Sea. So yeah, they took these hostages. None of them are Israeli. In fact, I have a rundown of their nationality here. Hostages taken from the Galaxy. Yeah, thank you. The hostages comprised of 17 Filipinos, 2 Bulgarians, 3 Ukrainians, 2 Mexicans, and 1 Romanian. 22 hostages, 0 Israelis, 0 Americans. I mean, even the only European one is Ukrainian. Yeah. And so, what did I say?
I wonder how Ethan's people feel about this. Like, how do you think? I don't know how the rest of the crew feels about this. I just feel like this is like, I don't know. Do they like what they're doing, or are they just sitting here like quiet, like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this again? I don't know.
Oh, what did I say? Anyway, what I meant to say. 2 from Bulgaria and 1 from Romania. That's correct. Okay. Excuse me. So they've taken a ton of hostages, none of them even relevant to this conflict, and they are holding them indefinitely, and nobody knows what's going on with them, if they're alive, if they're dead, if they're being treated well, if they're being mistreated. It's a mystery. They're probably trying to shake down countries, sell back the hostages.
Well, yeah, they're trying. They're trying to make money to fund like different terrorist activities. Like, obviously, I mean, that's what terrorist organizations do. No, like, it's not what we understand.
I don't know, but that's what's going on with the great guys over at the Houthis, kidnapping random working class people from random countries. And by the way, may I say that crew is extraordinary.
And causing inflation, okay? Because when they disrupt all these ships, it causes inflation for the rest of us guys, all right?
Extraordinarily more multinational. I mean, we should be what a global workforce they have there. Ugh, excuse me.
Yeah, it's been cold in New York.
It gets better.
He puts AB
Houthis
on the
have
spot
been
later
arbitrarily
on.
kidnapping-
Isn't AB like Middle Eastern? No.
aid workers helping in the famine in Yemen. There's a terrible famine happening in Yemen. Terrible, terrible humanitarian crisis. But the Houthis have decided to start arbitrarily kidnapping people who are there to help the humanitarian crisis. They're charity workers. And once again, just like the hostages, they're kind of just disappeared. They don't know where they are, what's happened to them, if they're dead, if they're alive, if they're safe. They just kind of took them, and that's that. This is a press release from the United Nations. Just to read a quote here. Targeting of humanitarians in Yemen, including arbitrary detention, intimidation, mistreatment, and false allegations, must stop. And all those detained must be released immediately, they stressed. Yeah. So they're not, frankly, trying to help the humanitarian crisis happening in their country. And it's tragic. It really is. These are not good people. In fact, they're quite evil, it seems. So, with all that being said, I feel like I've established that the Houthis are a terrible group of people. I'm sure there's a million other things I could say about them. But
yeah, well, I don't think you necessarily had to do that for normal people. I don't think you necessarily had to convince normal people that they were a terrorist organization.
Hasan interviews this kid who is almost certainly affiliated with Houthis.
Which is like the problem, though, no? Like, I understand that crazy fucks are going to believe like, whatever they're going to believe, but like, I don't know, man. Sometimes maybe just talk to the people that are normal. Talk to the normal people. You know, maybe don't bother trying to talk to these fucking psychopaths because they don't really seem to really be particularly intelligent. I don't know, man.
And asks him a few hard-hitting questions. Let's take a look at some of them.
Okay, this is a stupid question. Okay, you can preface it with that. Does he know what One Piece is?
what if you
Oh, got him. What's the One Piece?
لك انه ممكن هذا السؤال يكون شوي اهبل بس بسالك تعرف شو هو ون بيس عم سمعت بون بيس
اكيد يعني منذ الطفوله وانا اشاهد ون بيس لوفي
Luffy?
yeah he said he's been watching it since he was a kid
I mean, this is the thing, though. Like, these are both, like, this Houthi guy and Hasan are both attractive, dumb, attractive, worthless idiots that people listen to. So, like, that's pretty much, that's why Hasan likes him, because he finally sees somebody who's, he feels identifies with, I guess. Somebody that's stupid, that doesn't really deserve anything. But he's attractive, and, you know, attractive people are the best.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my God.
That's
We
fire.
think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
بقول لك حسن انه اللي
So this is a meme he's saying. The Houthi pirates are like Luffy. Luffy, of course, is this irreverent, fun-loving, happy, lovable character who just wants to experience freedom on the high seas. And it appeals to youth, appeals to young people. And Hasan is working overtime to convince people that this child, who is a terrorist, not child, he's like 20. This kid who's a terrorist is just like Luffy.
Not child, but a kid, which is true. I know what he's saying, but it's funny.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've only
What I
seen
think you're not getting is that his own fan base thinks his Houthis are base, so he has to do this. He could just ban him. His fan base is because he decided to associate with Hasan. That's the thing, right? Like, the reason that he has such a toxic drama audience in the first place is because he decided to fucking do content with Trisha Paytas, and then he wanted to appeal to he wanted to appeal to this that base, and then like he got the same thing when he decided to engage in political drama as well, and then he had like this is his fault to having this audience is like his fault, right? Like, we understand that. That's what it kind of boils down to. And it's like he could purge the audience. I don't think it's a good idea, but he doesn't have to do this to purge the audience. He could just start banning people who are saying wild shit. Like, you can legitimately do that. Be like, you know what? I'm going to ban this person for saying some wild ass shit. I don't think it's a bad idea to do.
halfway through One Piece. So I don't know.
Like, he's still saying, like, at the beginning of this, oh, I'm still friends with Hasan. I'm still friends with Hasan. Meanwhile, this is the guy that's running defense for fucking terrorism. Like, what? Why are you still friends with him?
Luffy flying this Jolly Roger. Death to America, death to Israel, curse to the Jews. That was not on his Jolly Roger. But once again, there's time. There's time for it to change.
Jolly
I mean,
Roger.
there's a big tone change in the second half. You know what? I'm more interested.
I mean, what else is he supposed to do? He didn't get this audience knowing they would be like this. Get the fuck out of here. If he didn't know that, then he's stupid. What do you mean he didn't know? He didn't know he was going to get the toxic audience? Did he not like know who Hasan was? That's fucking crazy.
In sewing out that he's seen an episode of One Piece, the fact that he admitted to spending time with fucking Chinese vessel hostages that were kidnapped by the Houthis, you know, that would warrant a good follow-up question. But it's unabashed pro-terrorist propaganda that he's chosen, and that is what we're witnessing. This whole interview is frankly disgusting, in my opinion. It's shameful. Twitch should be ashamed. I don't know how he continues to show terrorist propaganda. It is quite alarming. And
I mean, it is interesting because before Hasan was like, "Oh, it's just anti-Muslim hate is justifiable, anti-Jewish hate isn't on these platforms," and then he goes and shows, and then he goes and brings a fucking actual terrorist on and doesn't get any punishment. It's like, oh well, that doesn't really show like that perspective very well because you have an anti-Jewish terrorist on that's shitting on Jews, but like they didn't give you any punishment for that.
I genuinely don't understand it, and that's not even the worst of it. We'll continue. This is from yesterday.
I'm doing this, fuck.
Yesterday, okay. He compared this kid to Anne Frank. Let's take a look. Is this from yesterday? Yeah, it's from yesterday. It's a conversation with Asmongold.
A
Who I
teenager.
denounced, by the way, in the strongest terms. The man says insanely terrible things, accusing Arabs and Muslims of coming from an inferior culture. Is absolutely pathetic, and something that I deeply disagree and oppose. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know, Ethan. I appreciate that, bud.
That being said, in this conversation, this is what Hasan told him about the cute Houthi pirate.
He didn't know because he didn't care about politics. Yes, he did. He did. Yes, he does. I think that you're giving Ethan a little too much charity. Ethan, this is Ethan's fault for happening. Like, give some agency to Ethan. You know, if you think he's a smart guy, he's smart enough to know. He knew what kind of fucking audience Hasan was going to bring in. He brought in that audience. He knew he did the same thing happen with Trisha Paytas. Like, he knew the type of audience that he was appealing to, and he still did it. And that is what it is. That's what it is, man. But it seems like this the conversation with Asmongold was like part of what motivated him to make this video.
Who everyone called, myself included, called Timothy Charlemagne or Chalamet.
Is that the One Piece one?
Yeah, exactly. Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life he has withstood, right?
Sure.
He is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay, being able to talk to Anne Frank in real time.
Once again, I find this comparison
Maybe it was. I don't fucking know. What did Anne Frank? What's going on with Anne Frank? Who really cares? You know.
insidious for a few reasons.
With your logic, he's allowed to respond. Like, yeah, he can respond however he wants, dude. I don't know. Like, who gives a shit? I'm just saying.
First of all,
He knew what he was gonna do.
I don't remember
He
this
knew
page from Anne Frank's journal. But again, it's been a
he
long
knew
time
this
since
was
I
gonna
read it.
happen.
I don't recall this this picture of saying, we will spike all Nazis through all Germans through the asshole and mouth and wish them a gruesome death. Wasn't in there, actually. Also, I find that conjuring of a Jewish victim of Nazi Holocaust is a intentional play to further blur the lines of
Ooh, you think he's dog whistling? Damn!
anti-Semitism and to try to take away from, try to exploit the suffering that happened on the Holocaust. Once again, not related to Israel at all. To somehow this Houthi.
The problem is Ethan wants to be like Destiny and reach out to people even if they don't disagree with fundamentally, but he's too emotionally compromised. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, Destiny's a very, very interesting. He's just built differently. He's a wild guy. He's a wild guy.
He's cheapening what happened to Anne Frank, frankly. This
Really?
kid,
Anne
I'm sure, grew up
Frankly?
in terrible conditions. There's no doubt Yemen is in a terrible state. However, we don't.
Well, then maybe Hasan's right. I don't know. Is Hasan right? I don't know.
As society, as a species, while we can appreciate where people came from and why they.
I mean, Ethan, if you're saying that this kid probably got radicalized into terrorism, from I guess Western impact or whatever, then maybe he's right about this whole Anne Frank thing. I don't know. Maybe is he right? I don't know. I really don't know. But it seems like I don't know. It just seems like why get offended by that?
turned out the way.
I mean, the unfortunate reality is a lot of people who are radicalized towards terrorism have had some kind of issue in their past. So I don't know.
It will never excuse violent, hateful behavior, right? We all understand that. We all know that. Anne Frank was an innocent girl who was whole family, including her, except her dad, was murdered.
Doesn't mean that what they're doing is okay, but I mean, if you can acknowledge that they've had like some kind of oppression that they faced and that would help radicalize them, maybe there's a level of truth. I don't fucking know. Frankly, I don't really know too much about Anne Frank. I don't really like people with two first names, and I don't like people with a girl's name and a boy's name. So
by the Nazis. And once again, as I say this, I know people.
And I don't think Anne Frank was radicalized. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's just saying that he's a victim in some capacity. I don't know. I guess Anne Frank's a bad. Let's just do our due diligence. Quick summary of Anne Frank. Anne Frank was a Jewish girl who was documented in her family too. Oh wait, this is a little different actually. You know what? This one might have been a little rough. Hold on a second, dude. Hold on. All right, relax. listen. I know that you guys are upset with me for this one, but you have to understand something, okay? Listen. It's rude to read other people's diaries. Okay? So for me not knowing what was going on, for me to not really put these two things together, it's because I respect people's boundaries. I respect people's boundaries. Okay? I knew who she was. I don't fucking... I know who Anne Frank... Like, I know Anne Frank is like, oh... Bro, to me, I'm not even going to be an asshole. To me, Anne Frank and, like, Helen Keller are, like, the same thing, right? It's just like, oh, two fucking... Like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, Anne Frank. Something Jewish. This is a little different. Now that I'm looking at it, this is a little different. Okay? I was just trying to be respectful, though. I don't want to read other people's areas. This is definitely different. Did I read in school? I did not internalize this one. I did not internalize this one. So I think that this is probably not a good comparison. It's okay to say that this young guy got radicalized into terrorism. It's probably true, but probably oh, the attic girl. Yeah. Yep. Bro, I don't listen, I'm a very sensitive guy. I can't internalize all this hatred. I can't listen. Bro, I don't internalize everything I hear in school. Don't act like you do. You fucking remember the Pythagorean theorem? How to apply it? You know, get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah, so this is definitely not a good comparison. I think I can understand why Ethan is upset with this one. Listen, I'm so sorry. Okay, that was my mistake. That was my mistake, guys. I'm a streamer for a living. Do you really think that what level of intelligence did you expect from me? Like, what do you know what I mean? Wait, what's happening?
Judaism, I'll remind you to take a step back and wonder, why is it you're thinking that? Because the Nazi Holocaust has nothing to do with Israel. It has to do with Judaism. So why am I being told not to care about this? Because of what's happening in Gaza. Make it make sense. Please. I don't get it. Yeah, I find this honestly disgusting. It's vile. And frankly, he should be ashamed.
Look at it. He just said Anne Frankly. Oh.
He should be.
Sorry.
And frankly, again, Twitch continues to allow him to spread terrorist propaganda with impunity.
But this is your friend, right? You don't hate Hasan. This is your friend. The guy who runs Defense for Terrorists. This is your friend, Ethan? I don't understand like the perspective here. Like
without even seemingly a warning, here he is showing 2 weeks ago. This is once again recent. Shows Houthi terrorist propaganda video. The kind of stuff that kind of reminds me of like Al Qaeda and ISIS propaganda videos that they would put out. That's just like well, I'll show it. Here's Hasan. And once again, if he's commenting on it, if he's critiquing it, that's one thing. But he presents it, and he walks out of the room. He presents it with zero critical analysis, just a full-on endorsement of this terrorist organization right here on Twitch. Now, I don't know if you remember, but basically this is what caused the apocalypse on YouTube, is that ads were showing up next to ISIS videos. And
Ethan's calling for another apocalypse, guys.
Here's Hasan, their darling creator, who has tons of ads running on his channel, showing to his audience who is willing to receive everything he's saying.
It's interesting that Ethan's saying this while looking like a failed NSYNC member. That's kind of interesting.
Not much critical thought. No offense, but at least to the ones that were in the subreddit calling me a liar, that Houthis are awesome.
Yeah, like we took that fucking
2 weeks ago.
You did?
Oh yeah, me and XQC both.
Oh, no, damn,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry, I need the money.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way.
Zach,
just so you know, these fucking...
sorry, the sound pack is falling off here.
It's falling off.
I'll just put it on the table.
Okay.
Actually, it's fine. Yeah, just make sure it doesn't fall. Should I put it on the ground?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Here, let's continue.
And musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I need the money.
I'm gonna drop my food.
Let me read the words for you to enjoy. And once again, I feel that we should throw up. We disavow this video, Nate, because on YouTube, they actually don't allow terrorist propaganda videos to play. And I want to make it very clear that I actually do not condone this. I think these guys are terrorists, and they're dangerous, and it's dangerous propaganda, and I'm watching it for critical reasons. Is it up?
But you're still this guy's friend? Is that what you were telling me? This seems interesting. Why is it not playing? What is happening right now? Oh.
Frankly, I'm risking my ass watching this clip. Yeah, fuck the Houthis. So he
So why the fuck? Like, I didn't even realize he was playing like legitimate terrorist propaganda on his stream. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. But that's crazy. Why are you friends with this guy again?
Produces it as a fun Houthi musical.
Musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Cam's trying to get the money.
We do not care. We do not care. Make it a major world war. Great. Good messaging. Shooting, their heart longs for master rifles and assault rifles. Very good. Very cool. He gets up and leaves his poor friend there in the
Holy
trenches.
fuck. Hasan is worse than I thought. I've been so tuned out of like Hasan. I've been so tuned out of Hasan for so long that I was just like, when I saw this clip, I was like, I don't care. I don't really understand what's happening. I don't care. This guy, because Hasan is so fucking cringe and boring. But like, wow, this guy is like actually not. Guys, he's not good.
Is taking
What the fuck is
Houthi
this?
terrorism propaganda to the dome. And I've seen this clip, man. This poor guy has no idea what's going on. He's obviously not very savvy with politics. And
This is insane.
man just left him fucking like George Bush when he heard 9/11 happen. You know what I mean? By God, I forbid myself this life. Ask your excellence. They're showing what's his name? MB.
I think it's
the
M.
king,
Night
the new guy of Saudi
Shyamalan.
Arabia, the crown prince. Apparently, they want to kill him. There was a war there, and they want to kill him, so that's why they're showing him. MBS. Yeah, he's just talking about their military campaigns. And this poor guy, I wish I had this at a higher quality. See, this poor fucking guy is like, what the hell is happening right now? By the way, notice the age of these kids dancing with guns and rifles. And how old would you say these kids are here?
Well, middle-out terrorist organizations will recruit kids, so.
To me, they look 15. Just saying. The Houthis have child soldiers. They recruit them. They encourage them. It's part of their army. And terrible as lifespan. But he's not even a child soldier at this point. He's like,
I mean, unfortunately, Hamas does the same thing, man. They recruit children.
20. Hasan comes back from the bathroom. We've now digested a minute and 10 seconds of unmitigated terrorist propaganda. Here they are holding up the signs, as I pointed out. It says death to Israel, curse upon the Jews, death to America. Right there on display.
A 3-minute video of. What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like bad example, Chris Brown dancing. You know.
No. They do like they do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dude, Hasan is actually pushing terrorist propaganda. That's interesting. Hasan's like a legitimate terrorist. That's fucking wild. Wow. I didn't think it was this. He's like a legitimate terrorist person. I'm just saying, like, this is kind of the case here, no? Like, this is actual terrorist propaganda. Like, what? Why is Hasan getting away with this? He's like a legitimate terrorist. I don't understand. I don't really get it. This is fucking wild stuff, man. This is wild shit. What the fuck? Dude, I legitimately didn't realize Hasan was actually running legitimate terrorist propaganda. I did not realize that this song that Hasan played on his stream, because when I first saw it, I was just like, oh, I don't care. I'm so bored of Hasan because it's like a boring topic. I didn't realize this was actually like legitimate terrorist propaganda that he's like legitimately pushing. Okay, he's actually, he's like legitimately dangerous. And here's my thing though. Why is Ethan starting off this segment being like, Hasan and I are still friends. We haven't talked in a while, but I still like the guy, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying to choose between me or him. And then going on and showing us how actually like criminally bad this guy is. Why are you friends with this guy, Ethan? If you feel the need to speak up, despite the fact that you typically do drama content, same here. I'm not criticizing you for that. But if you're sitting here saying you need to speak up for the Jews, why? And that's why you need to make this video. Why are you starting it off with like Hasan's not that bad? He's pretty bad. He seems like a terrible person, actually. Hasan seems like a legitimate terrorist. I don't know. Incredible stuff. Not really incredible, but thank you for the $5 from and Terry's 1997. Hasan's hair went from balding to budding. He's a new Benjamin Button. Incredible stuff.
What do you look? You think I made this?
Isn't I know they're singing, but I'm seeing these guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their fucking like their actions all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the terrorist actions?
That's called terrorist propaganda. They do it to package it in a nice way, to appeal to a broader audience. And Hasan is doing
Well, Hasan is allowing it to happen. Like
exactly their bidding, more than they could have ever.
He's not doing their bidding. Well, he is, but he's not like. Just to be clear, I feel like I almost feel like the undertone is like he's doing their bidding, but it's like the undertone is almost like Hasan's doing it on accident. Like Hasan knows what he's doing. That's crazy.
Like,
Thank you for the 22-month small gut from Cali Ray. Hey, Papa and fellow gutters. What's going on, brother? Or
broadcasting
sister.
this directly into the main line of Twitch.
And they love walking over. They love walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Okay.
We stormed Al Dude, military.
I'm gonna be real with you, and I know this might sound terrible to say. Hasan makes me like Israel more. You know what I mean? It makes me care a little bit less. It sounds so terrible. It makes me care a little bit less about the conflict going on. I don't think he's a very good representation, man. Like this guy seems to be a scumbag, and I can't really take anything he has to say as like as like I don't know, anything like reasonable. This is crazy.
Saudi
He's not
military
playing.
style.
Oh,
Again, they're just
sorry.
talking about their military exploits at this point.
I will say the music's kind of fire though. Making me want a falafel. I don't even know what that is.
He's saying they do not care about the heavy missiles. Like they will literally take the war to them no matter what.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
You know, they're awesome. And once again, sharing very supportive, flowery, supportive language about the Houthis, who, as I've shown, is a disgusting, vicious terrorist organization.
It's an act of for them. It's an act of resistance. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
This poor guy, man. He did not sign up for this.
He's in OTK. And
I was wondering who he is. He's pretty funny.
I call him.
Is he a WoW player?
Back in the days, yeah.
What does he do?
Yeah, so
He's a gamer.
Originally a WoW player.
I don't know anything about him, but I thought he was very funny and likable in these clips.
Yeah, he's great. He's a funny guy.
Oh my god.
He wasn't mean to us.
Oh come on, the music's not worse than KSI's. That's fucked up.
Hasan, by the way, are like judgy. He was just like, "What the fuck is happening?" So he handled himself pretty well.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Oh man.
Yes.
You know what? I also took a McDonald's sponsor and I drink Starbucks.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
Busted.
Good job.
So there it is. Yeah, that right there. Something similar to that caused the
So you're still friends with this guy? Or?
apocalypse on YouTube. Twitch, however, I think it's officially sanctioned by the CEO. I say that because he said Hasan's his favorite streamer. He really filmed forcing the Twitch staff to wish him happy birthday. He seems, by all accounts, to be a big Hasan supporter. And God bless him. You know, he's the CEO. It's his ship to steer.
Why God bless him? Sounds like a scumbag fucking moron.
Interesting choice, though. Now, when I saw this interview, I thought surely this is too far. Like something's got to give. He'll maybe get at least like suspended for a day or two, just so that just to make a point. Like, hey, let's chill out on the terrorist propaganda. Nothing, and their continued basically silent support of him has emboldened him, in my opinion, to get even more reckless and ridiculous with his platform. We'll move on to the next part. Moving on to this, he shows him another Houthi terrorist propaganda video of them hijacking. Oops, I'll dock one sec here, guys. 17.5. Oh, should I close my dock one sec? Let me open this. He shows him a video of when they board this vessel via helicopter and kidnap all these workers from different countries unrelated to the conflict in Israel. The Galaxy. Yeah.
Like a Samsung Galaxy?
Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it would be for waiting patiently.
We have the here it is.
How should I pull this up? Should I download it? Here, let me just download it. Sorry, this was kind of put together the best I could with what time I had. Here it is, downloading. So yeah, here he is presenting this entire video once again with zero critical commentary. In fact, the opposite. Blatant encouragement and enjoyment.
We have the here it is.
Is it Rust?
Bro, they fucking look at this. They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter, the Yemen flag. They fucking overtake. They start overtaking the ship, and they're like, "Guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you're an Israeli, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, or if you are actually sending ships to the Israeli port of it's not Eilat, it's the other one that is now bankrupt.
It's Eilat that is suffering.
What was the other port? Haifa, right? Is it Haifa? Is Haifa the bankrupt one? Anyway, there's a lot of information. I can't recall all of it, but they go. If you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza. Because they say it. They're like, listen.
The problem so far, of course,
we're not a fan of you.
Is that he's either wrong or intentionally lying, although he's pretty savvy, so I have a hard time concluding anything but that he's intentionally lying. Because, of course, a huge portion of the ships that they've attacked, commandeered, have nothing to do with Israel. And I'll also say Israeli imports are slightly affected, but totally fine. West Africa.
That's interesting. Okay, thank you for the small gut from James Salas. I appreciate that.
Africa and poor countries like that are the ones being hardest hit by this terrorism. raising the cost of food
Yeah, and then obviously it's gonna raise the cost of pretty much any good that goes through goes by ship. It's gonna raise that up, which is obviously not good for those countries.
on the poorest countries that need it the most, and limiting their access to. But the problem here is, of course, that he's just straight up lying. They don't just target Israeli ships; they're attacking everybody, and that's called terrorism.
How is Ethan lying?
Apparently, as long as you put a Palestinian flag in your terrorist propaganda video and say you're doing it on behalf of them, you get a pass. In fact, the Palestinian cause is an important cause, one that I support. As I've said, I've donated. I support. I desperately want the war to end, and I'm heartbroken by all the tragedy I see there. But certainly, I don't see how this is helping anybody. And of course, he's lying. He's doing Houthi propaganda by lying about what they do and who they are.
This is a group of people that are like, no, we care about the Palestinians. We don't want you bombing them. So we're going to fucking take action. And we're going to try to punish you economically to the best of our ability. And by God, they started doing that, and they were doing it real well. So they started taking over these ships. They started targeting the ships.
Appreciate the flowery language.
They're like, hey, where are you going? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And if you're trying to get in there, we're going to fucking bomb you.
Are there people on this helicopter right now?
Yes. What do you mean? Of course there are people on this helicopter. What do you think? It's a fucking drone?
Kind of, from this angle.
No, there are people on this helicopter.
Rude.
This is
By
like
the way,
hostile
rude,
British
Sean.
treatment?
It does kind of look like a drone. Just saying. It was a reasonable question.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
I
flexing.
lost.
Here they are aboarding the
They're
ship.
coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand this.
Literally
is right? So, like, their
a
goal
fucking
is to
CSGO campaign. I feel like there's one of these maps for sure.
Modern Warfare, yeah.
Modern Warfare. Play.
And show it to the world. So like other companies that don't want to risk having this happen.
There's no sources as they're attacking everything and anything. Okay, so are you saying that if I look it up, the Houthis are only attacking Israeli people and they're not attacking any boats that are having a negative impact on anything? That was what you're saying? I just feel like you're a stupid idiot. But okay.
Into their product, having this happen to their.
I mean, Hasan's showing terrorist propaganda on his stream. It's hard. Why would I take Hasan's word over Ethan's word? Why are you here? Why are you here? Like, why do you think it's as a safe space for terrorists? I don't understand. Go live in those countries or something, man. I don't understand. You think that these are virtuous pirates? What is it? What are they, Peter Pan? Is this like, what are they? You think Peter Pan pirates over here? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Ships literally are like, okay, we're not going to use the trade route anymore. All of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that trade route,
for everybody.
the Israeli port is
Once
going to
again,
get banned.
a totally ridiculous reading of the situation. It doesn't just get expensive for the West, and the West can afford it. The West, you know what I mean? It's the poorer countries, the West African countries, that it gets expensive for, that it hurts them way.
Yeah, but that's the West. West African West, same thing. Ethan, you silly goose.
More. And in fact, like I said, Israel imports are relatively fine.
Bankrupt. Israel is not going to be able to get the materials in time that they need for waging their war. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal.
You think people are going to start leaving Israel because of this? That's crazy work, brother. That's the stupidest fucking thing this guy's ever said. Holy fuck, this guy's an idiot.
Again, I just have to comment, just kind of almost as an aside, but getting people to leave Israel, like 80% of the people in Israel are citizens who were born there. They don't have anywhere to go. This is part of the fucking problem with this conversation that I have to explain to people. The Israelis cannot go back to Europe. There's literally nowhere else in the world for them to go. As I said, Elah's parents were born in Israel. So it's like, the country's been there almost, coming up 100 years.
100-year anniversary. It's like 100 years of Disney, baby.
80% of people were born there. Okay, who's leaving? And I guarantee you the people in Israel would love to leave if they could. I'll tell you, I've known a lot of Israelis who are able to...
Well, I'm sure that they could go into other European countries, but they certainly wouldn't be welcome to Middle Eastern countries. Hey, what's going on, brother? I'm sorry you're sick.
Immigrate to America, and that's like the dream there. Trust me, you think they fucking want to be there? Most of those motherfuckers can't wait to get out of there if there's any chance.
I doubt it's that bad in Israel, to be real.
That's the truth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do we have the full video? I'm curious to finish because it... Well, anyway, I'll just describe it. The rest of the video shows them going through the ship with their guns drawn and essentially hog-tying these workers and taking them hostages. Once again, from a grouping of countries, none of them Israel, America, or even Europe, with the exception of Ukraine. Most of them Filipino. Those guys are like, what the fuck?
I'm a half a Pino.
Like, what did I do? Thank you, Dan. Here it is. This is the video. And again, let's throw up the disavow, because here on YouTube, at least when you show when you show terrorist propaganda, generally results in an issue. I'm presenting critical commentary, and of course, this is the rest of the video. Yeah, they're just going through the ship, kidnapping people, taking the boat, yada yada. It's the whole thing.
Guys, obviously that's okay. Okay, I'm just kidding.
And so this is, again...
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's anti-West, then it's the best. Okay, guys? No, but that seriously is... That is Hasan's whole entire mentality. If it's anti-West, it must be good. Like, there's no nuance for Hasan. He doesn't have like an intelligent, nuanced take on anything. He's not like, you know what, there are negatives in the West, but they're still good to live in. I mean, we have a pretty solid quality of life for people in the West. We're not the worst countries in the world. You know, every country is trying to dominate each other. Unfortunately, we were the ones that got to. We have the best culture, the most accepting for LGBTQ women, children. Could be better, but you can also criticize our own country. The West is the best. That's my opinion. Everybody else has got to catch up. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Oh shit! Hold on. What did I just do? How much did I skip?
Kidnapping people taken as some kind of heroes, and totally. And by the way, everyone you saw in that video, by the way, who was being kidnapped, missing, unaccounted for. Where are they? That's part of the fun of being kidnapped by Houthis. Nobody knows. Where are the aid workers working in Yemen who are arbitrarily detained? Nobody knows. These are not good people. These are terrible people. These are religious zealots. These are violent, terrible people that are making the material conditions in Yemen, as far as I can tell, even worse, in an already terrible situation. And Hasan is here running cover for them, whitewashing them, making them palatable to a general audience in the West. And all of this, once again, reminding you of their flag, it says death to Israel, curse upon the Jews. All of this contributes to a rising sense of anti-Semitism, of unsafeness that Jews feel around the world. And this, once again, blurring the line of the phrase Zionist with Jew.
Ethan, Hasan's always thought that Zionism was a slur. I don't, or that it was being Zionist was bad. Why are you changing now? I don't understand.
So there is that. Let's see what else we got here. Let me catch back up to my spot.
Why am I getting so much shit back? What the hell?
Deleted this part. And then, of course, our lovely terrorist, cute terrorist here, was quick to embrace the meme. Now, I watched that interview with him. Even Hasan said in the fucking interview that he was surprised by how media trained he was. So why is everyone going to be like, oh, he said he's not a Houthi. He said he doesn't hate Jews.
That's actually a good point. I mean, if he's so media trained, then wouldn't he know what to say and what not to say? That does make a lot of sense.
Said in his interview, he's surprised by how media trained he is. They know what they're doing. Propaganda is a big
well, so does Hasan. He knows exactly what he's doing too.
Part of their arsenal. They're very good at it.
and like, yeah, it legitimately is part of like the arsenal. They have to, like, that's like a legitimate thing because a lot of it is going to be it's a propaganda. A propaganda at those tits, am I right? Oh, it's like a propaganda. Like, you know, like they're media trained because they want like people, they want like useful idiots in like in different countries like the Western countries to be like, oh, actually, you know what, they're not so bad.
But for some reason, when it comes to talking to this obvious terrorist, Hasan's like, hey man, I'll just take him at face value. He's super media trained. He won't answer any of my questions, but I guess I believe him. Give me a fucking break. Here he is, quick to capitalize. He said, I do not know who designed the picture, but if Hasan wants to join us in the operation of Israeli ships, we welcome you. Again, not zero.
Okay.
0 Israeli ships, which is funny. Propaganda, lies. 0 Israeli ships. And here they are, the two amigos. Although in this case, they'd be not amigo. They'd be pirates.
Amigos.
Here's another one. He's loving it. Let's get this dude a Nobel Peace Prize, by golly. Fuck Israel, we are coming. We are coming, ready for anything. And yes, just like Houthi. Or just like Luffy. Luffy. It does rhyme. Maybe there is more resemblance. But yes, unfortunately, it's hard to pull all of his tweets, although I found enough of them, clearly. But he was banned on all social media platforms. A lot of people tell you because he's being silenced, because the American government is what yada yada, and yada yada, corporate businesses, whatever. I mean, he was posting death threats against, So I think we can all agree that's probably a good thing there.
The death threats? No, I'm assuming that he got banned.
So I don't know how many people still think this kid is awesome and cool, and, you know, let's keep hyping him up. He's the man. Hasan clearly believes that as early as yesterday. He compared, once again, a reminder, compared this kid to Anne Frank.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is I don't know if you guys know this, that's not a good comparison. That's a wrong comparison. In case you thought that, you know what I mean? Like, why would you ever think otherwise? You know what I mean? Like, that would be silly if you did. But, like, if you did think that, you know, I don't think you're a terrible person, you know, because, like, some people, like, are like, oh, you know, like, I'm a little uneducated sometimes. Now, if you are, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Why, that's not Helen Keller. That's not the same person, you silly little goose.
Yes, Anne Frank, who, once again, important to say, has nothing to do with Israel. Think about how you do that in your brain, and you'll realize the problem. Anne Frank was in an attic with her family hiding from Nazis.
Would be very silly.
Her entire family, including her, were killed.
Wow, that's horrible. Shit. You know what? To be real with you, I didn't know that either. Fuck. I'm not a very good Jew. I didn't know she was. That's horrible. What the fuck? I didn't even know that part. That's terrible. She was killed. Damn. Terrible.
Except her dad.
That makes sense. Right. I think I'm starting to remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
About like peace and philosophy and all. She was a lovely young girl that wrote about lovely, beautiful thoughts in her diary.
Yikes.
You know, she persevered through all of it with like a very positive, hopeful outlook, and that's part of.
Yeah. But like I said, you guys maybe shouldn't be going through her diary. So
what is so striking about her diary that makes it such a.
Bro, I forgot everything that happened back in the day. You know what I mean? Like I can't even remember what I had for fucking breakfast.
Time held read. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
This kid is a terrorist and he's posting death threats on Twitter. You know? It's, you know, and again, I know it's like, it's not, it's Saudi Arabia that's doing the genocide on Yemen, right? That's the war. Israel's never invaded Yemen. So it's like, it's almost like he's being like, oh, he's getting genocided.
Yeah, but didn't Hasan say Saudi Arabia was actually good because they just passed laws letting women drive or something?
I don't know. It's all kind of a little nebulous. All the Gulf states were attacking Yemen, yeah, with U.S. support. Okay. Of course, we had something to do with that. But regardless, I don't know. Now, if you want to compare a kid, whatever, okay, I'm not going to split hairs here. So once again, yeah, when you...
Oh, he's a terrorist, Ethan Scrubby. Yeah, well, he is a terrorist, so...
Say Zionist, I would love to know, what is it you mean? Do you mean it like the Houthis? Mean it? Or do you mean it like a liberal Israeli talking about Western settler expansionism? This is a conversation that needs to happen. That's not happening. In fact, when a Jewish person like myself says that this is a conversation...
They censor parts of her diary if that makes you feel better. Yeah, they must have censored the parts where all that bad stuff happened. That's probably not my fault for not knowing. Let's be real. Okay, it's not my bad.
It needs to happen.
My bust.
I'm overwhelmed with comments telling me that...
Dude, I'm ethnically Jewish, okay? You guys have known this. I never said I was religiously Jewish. I wasn't. My father abandoned me as a child. Maybe I have some deep-seated issues.
Because of what's happening in Gaza, we just don't...
He abandoned me as a fetus, actually. But
don't have the bandwidth to care about that right now. Or... See what? All good? And I mean, listen, I don't even need a list. You guys have seen it, okay? You've seen it. You know what happens. So let's see. There's a few more. There's one other topic here. I think... But this is a bonus name. Unrelated, but I think it's important. Actually, no, it's related. Fuck it. I'll say it's related. God damn it. Bro, let me download it. This is worth it. Stand by. Download blocked? Let's do that. Okay. Again, it's going to be worth it. Stand by. Why can't I download this fucking image?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck it. I'll just show you this. I don't want to show my screen because I don't know what the fuck's on it. I just wanted to show the Trump yarmulke. I don't know why it won't let me download the fucking image.
Okay.
It's so stupid. Okay.
Not very prepared, Ethan.
Photo editor.
Not very prepared. Okay.
Dude. I mean, it's in the dock. Or it's in us.
Oh my god.
Why is it not? Thank you, Zach. Oh, this is so fucking dumb. Years for 3 This yarmulke. Can you art?
Got it. When we get that.
By a very talented artist, clearly. And it can be yours for $300. So.
Only 300.
Yeah, that's a collector's item.
Yeah, man. People are lining up.
It's pretty badass on yarmulke, dude. I like that.
Can you imagine going up to synagogue with the shit on your head?
Showing up to Shabbat dinner wearing this shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man.
There you go. See, it was worth it.
Oh.
Thank you.
You go for Yom Kippur service wearing that.
It's crazy.
I wish it was like a random fight. Oh, it is. That's cool.
So, Doc 13. Okay, thank you. Doc 13. There's one more post here before we move on. When I started posting about this stuff, I always deal with this, so again, this is part of why I just need to talk about it. I know you guys don't like when I talk about Hasan. Well, I appreciate there's a lot of crossover, and I'm grateful to those of you who are able to watch us both. It's impossible for me to ignore that the majority of these people coming from are people coming from his community. Something his and his audience refused to reckon with. Hasan's whitewashing of that Houthi kid, says he wants to spear all Zionists to death, was frankly disgusting. I don't give a fuck that he's seen an episode of One Piece. I'd like to know why he's hanging out with Bo-Captain Chinese cargo vessels, aka hostage. As more info has come out about this kid being a terrorist affiliated and being anti-Semitic, lots more. There's a lot more examples. Obviously, I didn't pull all of them, but I think I pulled enough. Hasan has refused to disavow him. In fact, the opposite. He continues to prop him up as a trustworthy, reliable, good guy to look up to and to consume media and messaging from. The reason I brought this up is because this was the guy who told me to kill myself on Twitter, and I suspected he must be a Hasan fan, but I didn't know. But then, so Conrad Casey, Hasan fan, the guy who did the initial tweet, Hasan Kader. This is chat from Hasan's Discord. They're all part of this community. I mean, again, just to emphasize, Hasan has tried to get them to back off. I know that we're We're not responsible for everything we do. You know, our audience does. But for
No, but he doesn't call it out, so he is kind of responsible. No, fuck me. So he is.
some reason, I feel that when our audience goes too far, I'm pretty quick to call them out and to try to stem bad stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. That being said, there's, for whatever reason, I find a lot of anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, weird, obsessive fucking harassment is pretty much 80% Hasan fans. That's just the
Maybe you shouldn't have gotten to bed with Hasan, dude. Like, what the fuck?
empirical fact of the matter. But I know that, yeah, Hasan does rebuke the people who say mean things about me in chat.
No, he doesn't.
So obviously, not a personal attack, but certainly there's something in the
When does he do that? Fuck, I'm gonna die here.
water. Okay, you know what I mean. All right, so
Did
moving
he say he does or doesn't? Because he does not.
on to the final part, which is short, is Hasan denying
What the fuck is this?
rapes on October 7th. Popular talking point, something that I've seen, supported by pretty much the most random, bigots on Twitter to like the most mainstream commentary people. Everybody is somehow caught on or agreed. Once again, just like the Houthi spike tweet when everyone rushed in to tell me I'm fake and I'm like a piece of shit and I hate Arabs, are the same people denying the October 7th rapes. And the reason I say that, before I even watch these clips, is like, okay, the UN is often cited source by pro-Palestinian activists and all the rebucation of Israel. Well, here is a UN report. Sexual violence and conflict, Office of the Special Representation of the Secretary General. They did a mission report on October 7th, sexual violence. And I'll go down, I'll spare you guys this long document and read the conclusion, which is succinct and to the point.
Fuck, it's so annoying.
Conclusion. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at the different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape, gang rape, during the 7th of October attacks. Credible circumstantial information, which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, was also gathered.
Oh, why is it paused? Oh, it's muted.
In the beginning, a lot of people weren't comfortable coming forward. As time's gone on, there's more and more firsthand accounts coming forward of women telling their story of watching it happen. And in my opinion, it's impossible to deny it. And the active...
Well, I mean, Hasan's he's a pretty impressive guy. I'm sure he'll find a way to do so.
The active attempt to is vile. It's frankly vile. And it's just painfully ironic, which this whole thing is, because I feel like the left really cares about racism. You know, they built the whole platform on it.
Well, I mean, like everybody else, everybody wants to feel justified in hating somebody, and I think that this is like what that is for the left, honestly.
Over the past decade, 2 decades, but like all of a sudden, you know, they're nowhere to be found. They're accusing women, just because they're Israeli, of lying about being raped. There are women on record in interviews, in these reports, on record saying I was raped. You know, it's a problem too, by the way. Yet generally, if you're being raped by a bunch of terrorists during a terrorist attack, you're probably going to be murdered as well. Most people raped were probably murdered.
I died there.
But there's still firsthand accounts, and plenty of them, and they're being denied. And it's not so much like the anti-Semitism, because once again, I'm gonna do my best to separate it. These are Israelis, okay? But it's the disgusting.
No, I finished all the tier fights. This is like just continuing the game after I beat it, and so like they're even harder now.
Hypocrisy. It's the cognitive dissonance. It's the like MAGA brain. I mean, this is left-wing MAGA. Following dogma before.
Dude, how is Ethan getting received here? This is fucking crazy.
Facts. All the way to the fucking end of the game. Okay? And Hasan, once again, contributing to this atmosphere of disgusting rape denial, which again, something that over the last 10 years, we've agreed is a terrible thing. We've all said, believe victims, support women. But apparently when they're Israeli civilians, they're lying. Here he is laughing when Kamala mentions October 7 rapes. Let's see.
October 7, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival.
Objectively true.
Women were horribly raped.
Now, when she says women were horribly raped, you'll notice Hasan bows his head with a giggle. He's smart enough not to outright say they're lying, but he's signaling to his audience quite clearly, I'll say, this is not a dog whistle, it's a dog shout.
But this is your friend. I'm so confused. This is your friend? I don't understand.
That he doesn't believe them. And it's echoed in the chat. I mean, you can all see, and I'll show you guys, that the chat turns into a frenzy of calling her a Zionist and a liar. These are leftists. These are people who support women. Blows my fucking mind. There's no consistency. It's a total farce.
Raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel had...
What's funny about that, Hasan? You know, what do you think his audience is getting from that?
A rightly raped. As I said then, I say...
Like, did she really go there? Yeah, it happened, bro. Sorry. Let's go ahead and read the comments. Maybe I'm misinterpreting.
Today, Israel...
Let me zoom in so you can read this.
has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters.
And once again, I don't even think her statement, like, I think she's doing a pretty good job. She says they have a right to defend themselves, as all countries do. But how they defend themselves matters. That's true, right? I think we all agree. I think even a lot of people who are critical of Israel would say they had a right to defend themselves up to a point. But then it became, you know, this horrible humanitarian crisis with...
Thank you so much for the small gut from JP.
Mass murder, right? And it's at what point? Where is that point, right? But once again, and in recent news, the president put out a warning to Israel saying that if they don't fix the humanitarian crisis happening in Gaza, that they're going to pull embargo. They're going to do embargo on arms. So, like, you know, she's not giving Israel a blank check by any means, you know. And so then they're going to turn on her and call her a Zionist because she said there's rapes on October 7th, which is just factual.
Far too many innocent Palestinians.
Kamal, you dipshit, stop lying. I hate that they always say that. Is there a better way to fucking... Gross. Boo. Oh my God, with these fucking lies. We are so cooked. Again with this shit. Goddamn, stop repeating this fucking lie. We're still perpetuating this shit.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like, is this not rape apologist rhetoric? Like, it's believe all women, and obviously you should believe credible allegations, not just all people. But then all of a sudden, like, there's credible allegations that in a wartime somebody was sexually assaulted, which is unfortunately like a very unfortunately normalized thing to do during like wartime. But like, couldn't be happening. Like, what the fuck? Thank you so much for the 13-month small gut from Peace and Love. Huge L take for Hasan, massive W take for H3. Yeah, I mean, the biggest the L take for H3 is that he came in here like basically saying that like he's friends with Hasan still, which is ridiculous.
You, Kamaga. Ironically, this is MAGA behavior right here, calling these women liars in the face of irrefutable evidence, in my opinion. Overwhelming evidence, let's say. God, this chat scroll is so weird. It goes so fast, but then when I click, it doesn't move. Come on now. Jesus, where's the chat? I mean, you guys get the picture. It's easy to go. You can review his chat logs. They're not pretty, and they never are. They're horrible, frankly. Fuck off. No proof. Me when I lie. Once again, these are probably, we support women. We believe women people. Literally empty vessels.
I believe women. I just don't believe women people because women are not people. That's a little joke for you guys. Don't worry.
Of a human being. Justifying genocide. She literally didn't, by the way. She literally said the opposite, that like to a point, and then she's criticizes Israel. Making this shit up again. Kamala, stop. This is a lie. It's pretty much every other comment. Fucking lies, you bitch. Black card revoked. I guess Hasan's audience has that authority. I didn't know that. Weasley little liar, dude. Hasan meme. So my point is that like he's signaling to the audience, and they're very much picking up what he's putting out. You know. And once again, without saying anything, look at the discourse happening. Look at the discourse happening. This is not good. This is not good. Holocaust Harris. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Sorry, the scrolling is just so bad, but you guys get the point, I think, by now. So that's just one. There's more. There's another one. Can't help but laugh. Oh, where the fuck's the other one? I feel like it got erased. There was another one of him telling...
I'm pretty sure at the beginning, did he not say that he was still friends with the guy? What are you talking about?
Chat. And he says, Hamas rapes, what rapes? Where did that go? We were just... I swear. That's so weird. Is it in my thought? Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Like I said, I kind of did my best throwing this together. As I felt I needed to do this now, today, after all that stuff that happened in my Insta stories. Fucking hell, where is it? Is it this?
Like, am I just fucking...
No.
Am I stupid?
Does anyone know where that is? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I could have swore at the beginning of this he was going on like a whole thing about how they're fucking friends still.
Okay. Just a little bit more.
Okay, here's my goal with this. I'm going to get through this as quickly and factually as I can. I feel that I need to say this. I need to address this once and for all. And just, this is it, okay? So let's turn off chat, because I don't, you know what I mean, whatever you guys have to say at this moment, I don't know. I don't want it to be toxic. That's it. That's why I'm turning it off. All right. As I said, I'm going to be quick and factual. There's no fluff. I'm going to get through as fast as I can. If this is not something you're interested in, obviously I understand. I would suggest you refer to timestamps or catch our Friday show if you want to watch this. Totally understand. Before I begin, I would like to address a couple of points that I know will be brought up. One, that I hear a lot. Why don't you talk to Hasan about this privately? I did text him a couple weeks ago after I saw the clip of him saying that he had no problem with Hezbollah. I texted him that I thought it was pretty disappointing and disturbing the way that he was, I'm on no sleep, sorry. What's the word? He was hyping up Hezbollah. And granted, when I texted him that, I said, you don't have to respond to me. I totally understand because it's unsolicited, criticism. I get it. But I was kind of hoping to open the door to a more personal conversation. He did not reply, which I took as basically just like we're on the opposite sides of this issue and talking isn't going to really help, which I get. And I agree. That's probably where we're at, unfortunately. But I did try. And again, not to blame him because I said, you don't have to respond, just so you know, I felt I needed to tell you this. So like, it's not like, that's what happened there. And in fact, we haven't spoken in a few months. We've spoken very little since the show ended. Obviously, this is what I don't like. I've been taking these stupid little pot shots at him, Instagram stories and stuff. Something happened over the past few days that really fucking set me off and made me get kind of just like determined to finally just do this once and for all. So obviously things got more strained between us as time's gone by. And after some recent events, which I'll get into, I find it impossible not to say anything. I don't want people don't need to speculate about our relationship, about our opinions about each other. I just want to address it now openly, bluntly. As a person, as a friend, I respect Hasan.
Boom, right there. He said he's a friend. He said he's still friends with the guy. I fucking knew. I heard he said that he's friends. What are you talking about? This whole thing is that he's his friend. He's sitting here saying that he's friendly with Hasan still. Why would you be friendly with Hasan when he's running to defense for fucking terrorists? I don't understand.
Wait, no, that's not it. Oh, shit. Go ahead with the music, Zach. Don't leave me floundering here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. We love that.
No, I'm not restarting the whole video. I wanted to confirm where he said that he was like fucking friends with them. Like, yeah, that's what I wanted to confirm that. I wanted to confirm where he was like, yeah, we're still friends.
You know the video I'm talking about?
How can I understand what he's saying
so
fast?
The front fell off.
I'm built differently, dude. Come on.
Who is on first?
What? But didn't we just watch it? Yeah, I'm so confused. We literally just watched it. Which one is that? You have a link to it? Wait. Okay, hold on. Let me open this. But this is a specific link to an image. But when I open it, it just goes to image 11.
This one.
Sorry, guys. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think it was important. Right at the end, too.
KETH.
Yeah. Oh, shit. You're right. This is my bad. Yeah, it's been here the whole fucking time. Sorry, I'm tired. I got 4 hours of sleep yesterday and last night. Not good. My app is yelling at me.
There's no future.
Okay, first of all, I just have to say, is there not a fucking TikTok filter? Why does his head look so big? He looks like a bobblehead. Does that look real or am I tripping out?
There's no future of prosperity and peace.
Am I tripping out or does that look normal? Tripping me out. Okay, so anyway. Good point. Good point.
What rapes did Hezbollah do? Bro, what rapes did fucking Hamas do? What are you talking about?
And I mean, there he kind of said it. He said, somebody brought up Hezbollah rapes, which again, I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard that. I don't know if that's a thing, if that's an accusation. I don't think I've even ever heard the Israeli government. But Hasan takes the prerogative to pivot into actually even Hamas didn't rape anybody. And there it is. Rape denial.
Well, because the perspective here is that Hamas is perfect. That's the thing. Hasan's take is Hamas is perfect. Like that's what it comes down to. They could never do any atrocious thing because they are perfect.
Calling women rape liars. Makes me wonder, what else are they willing to? What other close-held beliefs are they willing to throw in the dump in the pursuit of fulfilling their dogmatic vision of the world? Doesn't seem like a lot. We're coming up on the end here. Yeah, and one more time. Actually, no, we already did that. I'm going to read a few messages I got that I think were very important and good voices. 19 and 20. Let me read these over real fast. These are ones I shared. Oh, fuck. Wait, oh yeah, they're in here. Sorry. Fuck. How did I? Shit. Okay, here down.
I like how organized this is. It's fantastic.
All right. Almost made it through. Okay, we got this, guys. We got this. Once again, I say I felt like I was battling this war by myself, and literally nobody was backing me up. And it does feel like that sometimes as a Jewish person. And again, with all this conflation,
got to be friends with Destiny, dude.
Between Zionism and anti-Semitism. Like, imagine being a Jewish student on one of these campuses that's just trying to mind their own business and has like a Star David necklace. They're hiding their necklaces, man. Jews do not feel safe because people don't.
I would have just personally taken it off. Seems like a better way than hiding it.
Know the fucking difference, and who qualifies somebody to make that distinction? Who has the authority among us to decide who's the good Jew and who's the bad Jew? You know what I mean?
Enough is enough, guys. Let's get into.
I've seen videos of them at the encampment on these colleges, and then people are trying to come in and they go, "Are you a Zionist?" well, what do you mean by that? You know, so this person is going to decide who's the good Jew and who's the bad Jew based on this nebulous statement that means 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people without clarifying what that means. I mean, it's bleeding right into anti-Semitism. It is. And the thing is that they've fully convinced themselves that they're not anti-Semitic. And that's why making this conversation.
Yeah, that's what racists do too. They convince themselves that they're not like racist either. Am I playing on normal?
So fucking
I'm
difficult.
playing, no,
because,
what are you talking about?
The Zionism excuse is perfect cover. It's perfect cover. It really is.
Leftovers. I don't know how good Ethan and Destiny leftovers, explicit leftovers would be. It might be a little bit, might be a little crazy.
All right, let me read this comment. We're almost done, I promise. Has this been going longer than I thought? I don't know how long we've been going.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
We're at 2 hours.
Oh, shit. 2 hours of me just doing this?
No, total.
Okay.
So started.
I'm almost done.
1.5 hours.
I saw finally some messages of support that made me feel like not totally alone, and I was so grateful of people who were coming and
You're not
speaking
alone,
out.
Ethan.
I just said I want to thank you guys for your support this morning. I genuinely feel sometimes I'm totally alone, constantly being gaslit by my own fans, and I shouldn't care about rising anti-Semitism. It's not real. And it doesn't matter. You know, funny how anti-Zionists are so quick to explain how Zionists and Judaism. When I complain about anti-Semitism, they say, "But what about Israel, etc." Whatever. I've already said that point 1,000 times. So then there's one more here. Download. Thank you.
Okay.
We love it. Thank you so much. This was a statement from a Jewish individual who left a comment on the subreddit, which I'll read for you here. Being a Jew has been harder than I've ever experienced this year. Not just in this community, but in general. I've lost a lifelong friend simply because I'm Jewish. If you think that's a joke, it's not. My brother's best friend. My brother's like...
I don't think Ethan and I would work well on a podcast or anything. We're very similar. I'm just the cooler version of him, you know? So I don't think it would work out well.
Mega liberal. Like, he is like... What he wouldn't concede is that he didn't want to destroy Israel. And one of his lifelong friends literally stopped talking to him and called him Zionist, genocide, support, and stuff. My brother. This shit is happening to every Jew across the country. And I encourage you, part of the propaganda that is really fucked is this notion that like the majority of Jews are anti-Zionist and don't care about it at all. And therefore, that's why you're not anti-Semitic. I encourage you guys to talk to your Jewish friends, talk to the Jewish people close to you, and ask them. Because 90% of Jews in America, by the definition of most of these activists, would probably fall under the label of Zionists. And they see people wishing them death all the time, social media, in real life. I have a friend who lives in Silver Lake or somewhere, and there's like, you know, constant, there's like a static protest there of just like death to Zionists and all this kinds of stuff. And he's walking outside his door, walking through that every day. He doesn't feel, you know, you feel some type of way. I would like to break through that stigma. Genuinely ask the Jewish people in your life how they feel about what's happening and listen to them. And I don't think it's going to line up with people like Hasan are telling you. I've lost lifelong friends simply because I'm Jewish. Ethan, I hope you guys know that there are so many people who love and support you and who look up to both of you for standing up to the insane amount of anti-Semitism we're all facing. Dude, my throat is so fucked. Can I get some throat goat?
Oh, I guess this made Ethan feel pretty good. He felt a little affirmed, which makes sense.
All right.
Can I get some throat goat?
Ugh. I'm hot. Hold on, let me take my hoodie off. I'm throated. Full throated.
So how well was this received is the real question. How well was this received?
Oh, that? I was thinking like tea, but I'll take that. I'll fuck with that. Yeah, brought me a bottle for throat spray.
Probably really well, huh?
Oh, for real? Okay, I'm gonna coat through my... I'm gonna fuck...
How are the ads crazy today, dude? I have them on the lowest ad setting. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna fuck my throat with this, Dan. I think I'm getting sicker. I feel feverish.
Oh, great.
I'm getting all worked up.
Yeah, I think that just numbs your throat, right?
That's not good. Maybe it'll help me get through the end of this.
Don't get it on your tongue.
Safe for the family, ages 3. Open up, Sonny.
Okay.
This shit seems so weird.
Okay, that's cringe.
Is this your thing? You do this? Oh, it tastes like hospital. How much you spray it? Let me read the instructions. I never do that.
Take a swig of it.
I would.
I'm not going to read
Slight affected area, 1 spray. Lock to stay in place 15 seconds and spit out.
I think this exact thing has happened before.
Wait, I think that's a thing. People don't know that. I think everyone swallows it.
Well, if you're going to spray it in your throat, I don't get how you would possibly spit it out.
And it tastes sweet.
This exact thing has happened before. I'm 100% sure of it. Someone clip it.
How do I spit that out? There's nothing left. It went down my throat.
You're dead, dude.
Swallowing it was way worse and grosser. Now it's all over my tongue and mouth.
brown liquid that they spit out of their mouths.
It might actually, I think it's helping, Dan.
Right. It's medicine.
Good point. We love medicine here.
Anyway.
Anyway, he doesn't love fuck with medicine.
Hell no.
He spirit cooks with whale heads and baby
Brown
frost.
liquid that they spit out of their mouths.
All right, how am I ending this? Oh yeah, I was reading this. All right, I'm just going to read this through. Being a Jew has been harder than I've ever experienced this year. Not just in this community, but in general. I've lost lifelong friends simply because I'm Jewish. Ethan, I hope you guys know that there's so many people who love and support you and who look up to both of you for standing up to the insane amount of anti-Semitism we're all facing. We look to you guys to feel less alone. And we do. But it's so hard to watch. It's so
You're getting ads every 5 minutes as a what? Really? What?
hard to feel. A portion of this community has gone to complete shit, and it's so scary to see. Specifically, the crossover between us and Hasan's community. Seeing Ethan's Instagram stories right now literally made my stomach drop. Nobody who isn't Jewish understands or even cares. At least that's what it feels like. And I have to agree. This is, sometimes, a lot of times, how it feels. When I talk about anti-Semitism, and my supposed friend goes on stream and says, like...
I put it on, like, very conservative. I don't know, man. Next time I'll try to figure it out better.
It's
weird.
That's not really.
I was like, because people were like, "Oh, it's too many ads." I'm like, okay, so I put it on like the lowest setting, and it's still too many ads. It's fucking crazy.
Problem. It's not. It doesn't happen. Essentially, is what he's saying. It doesn't happen. Everybody knows that's wrong. Nobody would be anti-Semitic. Nobody would dare. I'm off X completely, but the most popular fucking accounts on X that I'm seeing now is just straight up Jewish conspiracy theories. Just vile fucking shit.
Play more ads.
Dan Blazarian, this one UFC fighter. This guy is such an idiot.
Well, I'm not trying to like overburden with the ads. YouTube implemented a new ad system where like it starts like it asks you, do you want like small, medium, or large ads? And so like I tried the aggressive one. You guys are like, that's way too much. Like, okay, that's fair enough. So I toned it down to the lightest one, and it's so fucking crazy.
You can be the dumbest nobody and just
you watch me for the ads. Well, I appreciate that. That makes sense to me. People are fucking crazy.
God awful anti-Zionist or just full-on Jewish conspiracy and hate. And these posts are getting hundreds of thousands of likes. I know Twitter and Twitter's in real life, and I'm off Twitter, but it's hard not to be affected by that. And I mean, let's be real. If that was targeting whatever group you might...
Oh, you want more ads, yeah.
...be a part of?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, YouTube has the best split for advertisements, just so that you guys know, than any other platform. So that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be so quick to tell people it doesn't matter. No, there's not Blazarian. There's another UFC guy who's like so evil. He's an ugly motherfucker. He's just evil as hell. Can't remember his name. Portion of this community, the yada seeing Ethan's Instagram stories right now literally made my stomach drop. Nobody who isn't Jewish understands or even cares. At least that's what it feels like. I'm not speaking about Zionism, Israel, Palestine, or anything related to that. What I'm speaking about is being Jewish. Every time I see a TikTok and someone says they're Jewish or wearing a Star David necklace, or people just know they're Jewish, but the video has nothing to do with it, every single comment says Zionist, free Palestine, genocide, supporter, terrorists.
Oh, God, shit.
And they're right. I challenge you to go to any post related to a Jewish person unaffiliated with Israel in any way and read the comments. Oh
my God.
I responded, this is 100% of the Jews I know. We all know it and we all feel it. I mentioned this at the top, but remember during the Stop Asian Hate campaign during COVID and how the left backed them up and everyone rallied around them, rightfully so, of course. But I feel similar things are happening to Jews right now. And the same people who were rallying behind to stop Asian hate are telling the Jews to shut the fuck up. And frankly, that's how I felt when Hasan made that video saying Frogan's fears are valid and Ethan's are not. And that trickles down pretty much to the whole internet. That's 19. This is 20. And this is a really good statement from an Israeli leftist. I thought this was very good. This is right on, man. This is so good. All right. As a Jew, is there even room for conversation with you people? Using the fact that Serbia is being bombarded by pro-Palestine, quote unquote, to ask this. I'm Israeli, born and raised.
Like kung fu movies? Maybe. I just haven't really watched any, but...
Grew up secular Jewish, quickly became atheist, left-wing, very active activist. Always have been, from a very young age. I must say, ever since I started seeing the shit that Ethan and Eli are enduring, I asked myself, is there even room for us in the left-wing conversation? Israelis who want peace, who act for peace, who dedicated their lives to the cause of ending the conflict. Does anyone in the left care about these people? Clearly not. Seeing what American Jews who don't even have any association with Israel, with the conflict, have to deal with. Like, I get the fuck Israel sentiment. Probably get it better than any outsider commenting on the conflict, and I do not feel like a victim. But the fact that even someone like Ethan is generalized under the same sentiment brings up a big question. Do people who support this sort of behavior even care about the conflict's resolution? Those of you who read all this, who aren't radical but do not understand why anti-Zionism ideology, such as the one that's being employed against Ethan, don't you see that's generalizing as any Israeli right-winger who voted and supports for our godforsaken government with the sentiment of fuck Hamas, fuck Gaza? Like what about the constant streams of many videos and photos of 400,000 plus...
You think that Ethan wrote this and he's pretending it's someone else?
He's demonstrating in Tel Aviv and across the country for a ceasefire. What about the 2 years leading up to October 7th where Israel was in constant government limbo because half the country keeps voting to have a Nazi in charge? Sound familiar, America? Good point.
Kind of base, actually.
And half the country sees his win as the end of their lives, and they know it, which literally did happen for a lot of people. Sometimes it felt and still does, as if we were on the verge of a civil war. Does all that count to you people demonizing?
I like the Watch Hour trilogy. I watched it when I was a kid. They were funny. Maybe I'll watch them again.
Or do you just want to watch the videos that enforce your hatred. I wrote this in
I like watching funny stuff, like Papa Gut TikToks or Instagram Reels, or soon to come to YouTube once shorts are elongated to 3 minutes.
Fun was similar. What about? What about
Which they
everything
technically are, but they're like they're just being wonky and funky and aren't like working correctly right now.
that's happening in Gaza or has been happening in Palestine since the foundation of Israel and the heinous happenings of the Nakba? I say we should talk about all that. You know where we talk about it? In the fucking demonstrations in Israel, where we demonstrate against our government, screaming our lungs out, getting beaten by police, lighting fires, block roads, and spend every day of the last year plus. If you read about it, you'll see the demonstrations have been going non-stop for more than 3 years, and honestly fighting with more and more of our loved ones in order to say, this needs to stop now. Sorry, my throat is just... I think it made it worse.
Yeah, my TikTok is goated. You know, I met a fan yesterday. It was pretty cool. I was at the buffet, the Chinese buffet. And a guy walked up to me, a young man. He's a tall guy too. He's like as tall as me, maybe even a little taller. He's a big fuck. I'm 6'4". He walked up to me. He's like, "Excuse me, sir." He was very polite too. He's like, "Are you Papa Gut?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." And that's already like a positive sign, because I've had people walk up to me before and they're like, "Oh, are you famous on social media?" And like sometimes they might just be embarrassed and don't want to be like, "Are you Papa Gut?" But I feel like sometimes they don't really know who I am, and they're just like, "Oh, I think I kind of know you." So when somebody's like, "Oh, are you Papa Gut?" Like to me, that's communicates that like you are like a legitimate fan. I'm like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh, like he shook my hand and he's like, 'Oh, I really like your stuff.' This that." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I don't ask people if they want pictures anymore. For 2 reasons. One, we're all adults and you can advocate for yourself. And number 2, it's embarrassing when people say no. So, so I don't ask because I have no problem taking a picture, but I get a little embarrassed, okay? I get a little bit embarrassed when people say no, because it's happened before. So, I didn't say anything. I was like, "Oh, okay, nice to meet you." This shook hands and walked away. I was just getting my food, and then he's like, "Excuse me, sir, I hate to," he didn't want to bother me again, but he was very respectful. He's like, "Oh, would you mind coming to my table and saying hi to my girlfriend because she likes you a lot too?" I was like, "Oh yeah, like when I'm done eating." So, when I was done eating, I actually went to the table. I actually went to the table when I was done eating, and I took a picture, and they were all very nice. The dad was funny. He's like a dad. You know what I mean? Like he was like a legitimate dad. Like he made like a silly joke, like because he didn't know who I was, obviously. But he's like, he's like, "Don't mind me. I'm just Michael Jordan. Nobody, nobody special." I'm just like, yeah, that's just how silly. You know what I mean? What a silly thing to say. So I thought that was silly, and then that was pretty much it. It was a nice little encounter. That was it.
His feet on the ground, wiki feet on the ground. I can say, from my viewpoint, nothing radicalized the Israeli public more than the inability of the American and global left to include any...
I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but...
fucking Israelis in the left conversation. This is a point that I'm so glad is being brought up. Like, when Jews see this stuff, it's really hurting. It really radicalizing people, and it's pushing everyone away from each other in just a really fucking terrible way. As if that is the way to achieve any solution. As if generalizations aren't good, only so far. If you ask me, this is the most extreme case of the left eating itself I've ever seen in my life. Literally, with its own activism, radicalizing and alienating people of Israel. So that we now not only hear any lefty's a traitor in here, which has been going on for years, but also every fence sitter that has ever existed knows that they would be naive forever believing the world doesn't hate us. And if they do it, it must be because of anti-Semitism. Oh, it's interesting. Never heard that one before.
Interesting.
And then when I see what happens to Ethan, I'm baffled. Maybe they're right. Maybe it's all anti-Semitism. Maybe the crazy Passover songs from my childhood were right. And in every generation, they do come for us.
Oh, fuck.
Don't actually think so. But I do see that even an American Jew who's arguably recused his Israeli wife from the fate of being born in this death-stained, horrible Holy Land, who donated $1,000 to a Palestinian organization, is constantly and maliciously being harassed online for being a Zionist. Do you think people who do that have any desire to have a conversation or an understanding or, God forbid, a positive effect on anything that they actually happen in the Middle East?
No, I think a lot of people just like to feel justified in their hatred. So
all just looking around online for any public personality they know who was forced to have a bar mitzvah or has any association with the Star David, so they can use their new favorite K-word synonym. This is something that I really was trying to get across to Hasan when we first started talking about this. Like, I felt like I needed him to come connect with me at least a little bit. And the thing is, like, now he's full-blown denying rapes. And, it's like, I don't know. Here's another one. And this is the last one. I'm reading this once again.
Have you ever thanked the veteran for their service and they don't accept it because they went through some horrible shit? That's fucking crazy, brother. No, I haven't. That's wild.
People are trying to obfuscate that, like, this isn't like a Hassan's community thing.
It is Hassan's community. What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know how else to convince. It is. I might have to leave Hasan sub.
Oh my god, this
Mike,
is
I hate for this, but I just want to say that I'm leaving Hasan's community. The struggle between him and Ethan has been hard for me, as I understand it's been for a lot of people. And like I emphasized, I'm grateful that you guys were able to enjoy us both. And again, I'm not asking
I wouldn't be. Hasan's a fucking psychopath, it sounds like. What are you talking about?
you to pick sides, and there's nothing wrong for you, a continued support of Hasan after this. No judgment on my part. In fact, like I said, there's still a road to us becoming friendly down the line.
How is there a road to becoming friendly down the line? He's running defense for fucking terrorists. What are you talking about?
It's possible. For a long time, I believed to align more with Hasan than Ethan, but I stay with H3 because the show is more than politics. At this point, though, Hasan's followers are honestly so far detached from reality, I can't stay. So many of them are trying to stand for what's right, which is good, but they only see black and white. Nothing in life works like that. There's always gray areas. There's always nuance. Ethan can acknowledge that what Israel's doing is wrong while still acknowledging the pain his people are facing. Hasan's community can't seem to see that. There are two sides, and that the other side are still people, even if they are wrong in their opinions. Well, I don't think, like, I'm not supporting the Israeli government. I can't follow any ideology that blindly. I don't know what the solution for the war is. I'm not a professional in any area that would have any weight in these matters, as I am sure much of Hasan's community is the same. Yes, I have opinions, but I'm always open to hearing others and learning more. I refuse to be part of a community who think their way is the only way, and then choose to degrade anyone who doesn't think the same. It's a shame because I've learned so much from watching Hasan, but I can't take the hate anymore. So, I mean, I heard that Hasan mods implemented a note more Ethan posts. I mean, for the past year, since October 7th, his subreddit has been essentially a second snark subreddit, just dedicated to obsessively hating me for everything I do. I don't know if you guys have been there, but so they've enacted a no Ethan a rule, unless it's like directly related to Hasan or something like that, which, you know, is probably a good step towards.
Wow, finally, just a little late, but I guess that's something, huh?
Trying to prevent the nonstop onslaught of harassment that I get from his maniacs in his audience. You know, and even as I type this to you guys now, should I mention the thing that we talked about before the show? Like that? Is that? I feel like I should, but this unrelated to Hasan. Yeah, so there's something really disgusting happening right now, and I have zero recourse, okay? On the Snark subreddit, the top post right now is dedicated to identifying and harassing non-public Teddy Fresh employees. It's on the front page. It has, last I checked, it had 500 upvotes, and it's been seen by the mods. And every time we report a post like this, we get punished, which once again, we have no recourse. Like, this is not okay what's happening. The reason I bring it up is because in the comments...
That's crazy. So they're just doxing and harassing these people?
It's all like, do these people know they work for Zionists? How do these people work for Zionists? And that's part of the reason they're being targeted and part of the harassment they're receiving. So, like,
maybe the pay is good, baby.
This whole thing is connected. The whole Snark, the Snark page that's blown up since October 7th, people really didn't give a fuck that much about it before then. But now it's like this vibrant community of people that are obsessed with Zionism for some reason. And a lot comes back to that. I don't know how Reddit allows this. I really don't. It's fucking sickening. Let me show you. I'll even say it. Fuck it. There is one admin called Quiet Fairy, okay, who has blocked us, punished us, and stopped us at every turn to try to stem the flow. My brain is fried. To try to stem the flow of nonstop terms violating harassment, and we're at a dead end. We're completely powerless to these people. They can talk about whatever they're showing this, but wait, this guy's still on Twitter? Oh, he responds to me. He says he doesn't hate Jews. That's great. Super believe you. I guess just link it to me. I don't need to fucking browse this shithole. It's in the doc.
Rat hole.
You can talk louder. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It's pinned at the top of their subreddit? Oh my god. Oh, so it's even worse than I thought. It's pinned. So the mods... No, it's not.
I can't find it. I saw it before the show.
Oh, they erased it? Yeah. We reported it, and we were trying to contact someone at Reddit, and we were trying our best because, like, our employees at Teddy Fresh who are non-public do not fucking deserve to deal with these types of people. It's just... So maybe someone got to them. I don't know. But, Snark docs backup? What is this, Love?
It's a PDF of the whole page. I said it before the show.
Oh, nice. So they're calling out by name. I don't want to show his name. They're calling out by name, linking his Pinterest, accusing him of plagiarism, which is dumb and stupid. Obviously, this is her favorite thing. And linking directly how to harass him. A mod here even has stickied a post, further context, giving... So the mods are here and they're co-signing it. In fact, it was pinned as far as I know before it was erased.
If you look on this PDF, on the top right, you see the green pin, top right.
Yeah, you're right. So what happened? It's like, is it pinned or is it erased?
It's unpinned and locked.
Oh, it's not erased.
It's unpinned and locked.
It's unpinned and locked. Okay, well, good. I'm glad we have this. So let's see, they're harassing her. They're looking up their socials, and then they looked up another one of our employees. Showed her name, her job at TF.
That's why when I hear people say that they like using Reddit, I go, that's pretty cringe. I think you're cringe if you like using Reddit. You know what I mean?
They showed a post of her talking about the
cringe,
the war in Gaza, and supporting the people of Gaza and criticizing the Israeli military. And then people said, "Oh, we need to do." Let's see. Do they know that they work for a Zionist? You see that? And they say she's definitely getting fired. Whatever. Doubt Ethan knows he'd be on his story raging. Shut the fuck up, dumbass. And then here's another post.
Ooh, got him.
With two people's names, their Pinterest, their IDs. They're literally making it their point to target and harass non-public people. This has to be against Reddit terms of service. It has to be. It's a long pile of stuff that they just continually fucking do. And it's all fueled by the reason I bring it up now is part of the same fucking flame of crazy Zionist hatred and this catch-all term that's being deployed against pretty much every fucking Jew. And, you know, when you convince yourself that you're up against Nazis, you can pretty much justify doing anything to them. We grew our whole lives believing like the Nazis were the worst. They're just plain evil. And you can only imagine, you know, what we would have done to a Nazi that's just pure. And so we all grew up with that, this perfect idea of evil. And now the left has, perpetuated this idea that Zionism is Nazism. Except, wait, what is Zionism? Okay, well, everyone has a different opinion. It means all these different things. These people, they say, I'm anti-Zionist, and they're giving themselves all the freedom, all the permission they need to do the worst things imaginable to these people. It's fucking insane. It's disgusting. I hate it. These people are sick, and Reddit is complicit, and Twitch is complicit. Like, I just don't understand what the fuck's happening. Am I just powerless to stop people being non-public people being fucking bombarded? Is this not targeted harassment? That can't be normal. Pinned on their front page. I don't know what to fucking make of all this shit, but it's sick. And that's why I bring it up. And honestly, I don't really have a lot more to say about it. I'm sure I missed something because this was all fucking messy. There's a lot more I would say about Hasan, but I try my best to keep it only to like the most like straightforward, in my opinion, irrefutable points, which is that this Houthi kid is a fucking terrorist. He shouldn't be glorified.
I like how there's definitely more that Ethan wants to say. Say it, dude. I want to hear it.
Okay. And that the Houthis are terrorists who should not be glorified. Okay. And that Hasan, even though I don't believe he's anti-Semitic,
he seems like he is. He might not hate Jews, but he hates the West so much that he'll justify their, abuse. So
he's causing a lot of pain and trouble in the world for people, Jewish people. I think so. He doesn't realize it. But that's what he's doing, and that's why I felt forced and compelled to say that. You ask yourself, what is Zionism?
You don't think he realizes it? There's no fucking way. Ethan's such a fucking loser.
When you have a definition, you tell me.
Like he's being you're being a loser on this, Ethan. You don't think he knows it? There's no way that you think that.
We can decide if I'm one or not, if I should die or if I should live. You guys tell me what's Zionism, and then we can decide if I deserve to be spiked to death up the asshole through the mouth, or if I can, if I can actually have access to your encampment on college. Like, and the difference between the two is so insanely stark. It's like most Jews have a nuanced, are gonna have a nuanced opinion about the state of Israel. Literally 90% of Jews. I've personally never even met a Jew that was like, yeah, Israel should be abolished and it shouldn't exist. I'm telling you guys, people don't want to listen. 90% of Jews are Zionists. There's a problem with this fucking term.
Yeah, being a Zionist again just means that you believe Jews in Israel's right to exist.
And it's being deployed uncritically. We saw the pin, but here it is. Pinned at the top of their subreddit.
Oh shit.
So I don't know. I don't really want to do this back and forth. I don't know how he's going to react, and frankly, I just want to say my piece. I feel it's a moral imperative for me to do this and to say this. And I understand a lot of people are going to disagree with me for some reason. Some people are going to say that what I did is heinous, that I should be focused on what's happening in Gaza, even though, once again, apparently this has nothing to do with Israel. It's anti-Semitism. But my heart is with the people of Gaza. I pray for this war to end. I'm just fucking so need this shit to end. It's gone on so long, and it's so terrible. My hope is that, like, when the war ends, these people will, like, calm down and disappear. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know if these people have just got a taste for anti-Semitism and taste good. You know, there's a reason that shit existed forever. Forever. You name me a time in history when going after the Jews was the right thing.
Okay.
They're Zionists. Okay. Got it.
Ooh,
that's all I have to say, I guess. I don't know. I honestly felt like I had no choice.
All right. So there's still more going on here, is there not? Jesus Christ.
I had to do it.
Oh,
and I'm sorry. And it is what the fuck it is. That's it.
All right. Cool. Interesting video. Is there more?
You want to say something, maybe?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to this, and it's a little tricky for me to navigate. But first and foremost, I don't want to take away from how you're feeling or what you're experiencing, because I know that anti-Semitism is on the rise, and I know that you're definitely a victim of it and a target of it. And I like Hasan as well. And
Hasan's telling me it's not real. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're not interrupting me. Well, on that point, you're talking about the clip with Frogan, whenever he said that anti-Semitism is a form of bigotry that is not accepted, while Islamophobia is a form of bigotry that is accepted. That's exactly what he said. I think what he was trying to say is that.
No, he's what he's trying to say. He's lying. He's just trying to downplay the issue. Okay.
Because of stuff like the Holocaust and all the persecution that Jews have gone through, it's known that it's not accepted. Of course, people still do it. It is on the rise. Whereas Islamophobia, it doesn't have like a Holocaust type event.
That's not what he's trying to say. He's just downplaying everything, because it's some kind of Western aligned thing. That's literally
so
it.
People aren't as aware, and also just being closer to 9/11, it's still prevalent.
Based on I hear you. I appreciate your perspective. Obviously, thank you for sharing. And I understand this is probably uncomfortable for you. And I apologize, dude. It's so unfair that, of all the bullshit that, we all get for this. That being said,
oh my God.
Obviously, I wish he said a lot more, if that's what he meant, right? Because apparently, I think words matter, especially when you're talking about something as delicate as that, especially when you're talking about your friend who felt victimized by one of your mods, and just blankly defending her. And I mean, it's pretty easy to interpret the way I did. And I have to say, like, based on the premise, just based on my experience in the world, is that, like, I think our generation is, like, deeply traumatized by what happened in Iraq. And people are, like, mega support. I think, in general, of our, woke audience, like, people are mega supportive and aware of Islamophobia and anti-Arab hate just because of what happened. And our generation carries a lot of guilt, right, for what happened. And so I see a lot of people who understand that perspective, right? Like, but what I'm seeing more and more of every single fucking day, I've never seen in my life, is just out and open, blatant, unchecked anti-Semitism. Just out in the open, blatant. It's everywhere. You can't miss it. And so, like, once again, I don't believe that anyone's suffering is greater than another person's. I think everyone's suffering is equally valid.
Dude,
but I do believe that, listen, if you want to be as charitable as you can be, he should have picked his words better and talking about something as important as that. In terms of what he said, though, I think he's wrong. And I think it fucking sucks that that's his opinion.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much because I don't want people to take us talking out of context and try to make it something it's not.
Yeah,
but,
we're happily, we're friendly discussing.
Yeah.
Before and after, we remained friends, and me and AB are great. And we're going to Vegas together.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Because Lena's back. Your girl is in the tourney.
Yeah.
But sorry, is there something else you want to touch on?
No, that's it. I mean, Hasan will, I'm sure well, I don't know, but he can defend himself. I'm probably not the best at it. Not the person to do it anyways.
I appreciate the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, this is so
and
obnoxious.
it gives me the opportunity to respond to it too. Mm-hmm. Because, like, it's just not what I see and feel. And, like, to basically say, this is a terrible misspeak if we're going to be generous to him. To say that, whatever, I've talked about it enough. What else is there to say? Should we do some? Yeah, we'll probably end it, but do we have some kind of, like, vibe cleanser? Oh, cookies! Oh, Nate, that was Nate's fault.
All right, sounds like it's finally over. Incredible.